We'll take the edge off the winter's chill with a Friday night NBA trip to Orlando on TNT. The Utah Jazz sport the NBA's third-best record, and Karl Malone ranks third on the scoring charts. Tonight, Horace Grant and the Magic will try to keep the mailman from making his appointed rounds. Jazz and Magic straight ahead on TNT.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What can I do for you?
2 copies, please.
Yesterday, Evelyn Hartwell fulfilled a dream big enough to change her life, small enough to hold in her hand. She got the keys to her first home.
Thank you.
By the way, congratulations.
For a free guide that can help you get a home of your own, call the Fannie Mae Foundation. We're showing America a new way home.
Just a reminder, Zales also has diamonds, sapphires, and gold for just $99. No wonder we sell so much jewelry. Zales, the diamond and holiday gift store.
Dad, Mom.
You'll find gifts for everyone on your list.
Oh, yeah, Diane, Uncle Bill.
At low holiday prices.
The mailman.
At the Ace Great Wrap-Up Sale, so hurry in before we wrap it up.
Hey, whatever sport you're into this holiday season, you gotta get into Foot Locker. Our stripers are experts at helping you pick that perfect gift, like the exclusive Nike Air Flight 84. We're talking more Nike, Reebok, and Fila than you can fit under a tree. Then check out a sleigh full of Nike sweatshirts. And if football is on your list, grab a Pro Player NFL reversible jacket. Plus, our gift certificates will help deck out that special someone from head to toe. 'Tis the season to get off on the right foot at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
Fresh toppings, the soft bakery roll. Today, make it McDonald's Arch Deluxe. The great grown-up taste, the perfect holiday treat.
Can MasterCard help stop a thief? The answer lies in the tamper-resistant panel that MasterCard pioneered. It makes a stolen credit card practically useless. And your MasterCard even more secure. MasterCard, it's smart money.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.
Stockton low to Malone. How many times have they done this?
Malone from Stockton. Push 4-3. Jazz on top. And gets it over to Stockton. Long down court pass to Malone. And Malone gives the Jazz their largest lead.
Stockton to Malone, a combination synonymous with the success of the Utah Jazz for 12 seasons. This season, they've proven skeptics wrong again, as they've led Utah to a 19-4 start. Tonight against the Orlando Magic, more vintage Stockton to Malone on TNT.
Stockton on the left wing. He'll alley-oop to Karl Malone.
Here comes Stockton. Bounce to Malone.
Along with Chuck Daly, this is Bob Neal wishing you happy holidays from Central Florida. Tonight we're in the O-Arena in Orlando. The Utah Jazz, off to the best start in franchise history, are on a holiday tour of the East. This is game 3. They are 1-1 so far. Orlando struggling, losing Shaq to L.A. And they also have Anderson and Hardaway out with injuries. But the names, you just saw them on the screen, are Stockton and Malone. Chuck, I want to show some film of these guys in action and then have you talk about it, and then I have a big question for you.
I hope the question's not too tough.
It's a tough one. Here they are, Stockton and Malone, doing what they do so very well.
Watch carefully. Here comes the screen and roll. Goes to set it. He slips it. And Stockton bounce passes the ball to him. Not many people can do that. Now here is a back pick by Stockton. Gets the ball to Malone. Watch the back door. You'll see it all night long. Stockton, Malone, Malone, Stockton.
Now, it looks simple. It's pick and roll. It's fundamental basketball. It's two-man basketball in a way. Why can't it be defense better? And if so, how do you defense it?
Well, it is the toughest play probably to defend in basketball right now, and being run by almost every club. Portland and New York do a great job against this club, and they blitz it. By blitzing, we mean they double team it and take them all the way to half court. That's one of the best ways to defend it. Let's see what the Orlando Magic do tonight.
Now, without Hardaway and Anderson, the Magic struggling at the guard and forward positions again. The biggest problem, last time they played Utah, the Orlando Magic could score only 68 points. My question to you is, how will Orlando find a way to score here tonight?
Well, first of all, I guarantee you they'll score more points than that come tonight. They're consistent at the free throw line. They've got to get, Dennis got to work a lot harder to get open shots. Horace Grant has got to get untracked. He's a 50% shooter over his career. He's shooting 43%. Got to get better. They need to do a lot of things very well.
Yeah, the last couple of years, this has been one of the toughest buildings to win in the NBA. But the Orlando Magic have lost 3 in a row right here at the Arena. They'll try to set that right when we come back in just a moment. After these commercials, we'll join Ernie in our studios in Atlanta.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, to remind you fresh beer tastes better. By Hyundai and their full line of quality Hyundai cars. By Madden NFL 97 from EA Sports, now available for your PC. By Domino's Pizza. For hot and wow, call Domino's now. And by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Budweiser, always brewery fresh.
Where's Dad?
How can I get through to you? I want the world to know that Hyundai is a whole new enchilada. But would you listen to me? No. But you listen to the Jack Gillis 1996 car book when they tell you that Hyundai is one of the lowest preventative maintenance costs in its class. Got your attention now? I think so. Then concentrate. With $1,000 cash back, the Accent is the most affordable car in America. Okay, are your minds finally open? Now, are you ready to get in and drive this baby? Get in the car. Now.
A long time ago, someone said, I'm better than you. Giants take the floor. Some shoot, some dribble, some experiment. They scrape the ozone, get scrappier, harder to counterfeit. Gravity loosens its grip. Hands become hammers. Point guards become lethal. The innovative are rewarded with victories, championships, frequent flyer miles. Dunks become landmarks. And above the rim, you hear, I'm better than you, and I can prove it. NBA Live 97. If it's in the game, EA Sports, it's in the game.
Only from Domino's, new garlic crunch crust pizza, roasted garlic. Baked right into our classic hand-tossed dough, then sprinkled with Parmesan crunchies all around the edge. It's a delicate blend of herbs and garlic in every bite of our delicious steaming crust. Call now and get a large one topping just $9.99. New garlic crunch crust for a limited time only.
For hot and wow, call Domino's.
Happy holidays from TNT. 5 nights before Christmas. To heck with that mouse. The studio's stirring with Reg in the house. We welcome you to Atlanta. Our final NBA on TNT telecast of 1996. Ernie Johnson and Reggie Theus. Jazz and Magic coming right up. Well, 2 of the game's biggest names, Charles Barkley and Clyde Drexler, have been suspended and fined for their actions in the 4th quarter of the Rockets' loss to San Antonio last night. Here's what happened. In the 4th, David Robinson going to work down low, and Kevin Willis going to lay the lumber to him there, and that's a flagrant foul, okay? Then go down to the other end moments later, Reg, and you don't get the call.
Kevin Willis didn't even go for ball, but right there, Big Will got ball and then just hammered him after that. Didn't really look like a total flagrant foul to me.
At any rate, Charles Barkley and Clyde Drexler did not like the call. They got physical with Jack Neese, the referee there. In fact, Barkley stuck his finger right at Neese and hit him on the nose and drew blood, and also drew a 2-game suspension and a $7,500 fine. Clyde Drexler got 1 game, which he's probably going to appeal, and a $5,000 fine. There's also a $1,000 fine that goes with the ejections for both of those guys, so they'll miss the next 2 games. At least Barkley will. Now, what is your take on what transpired there with Sir Charles?
Well, I mean, you know, he was really just trying to take up for his teammate, you know, thinking that it wasn't called on the other end. But you know, no matter what, the rules state if you touch a referee, you are out of here. And the fact is, you're not even supposed to get that close, Sir Charles.
And the league, seeing it this way, said, look, I know he stuck his finger there, but they don't think it was intentional that he hit Jack Neese.
Well, back in the day, guys used to go nose to nose and bump noses. There was no fines given then.
Back in the day. Always good to work with a guy who can refer to back in the day. Reggie and I are going to be back at halftime to crank up the highlight machine, but straight ahead. Back to Orlando. Karl Malone and the Jazz trying to make it 18 wins in their last 20 games. Taking on Ho Grant and the Magic. Enjoy it, folks.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are folks who like to work on their cars themselves. But the ones who come in most often are those who work on cars for a living. Guys like Ed Graven. Now, Ed's garage is in Ogden, Utah, where most of the time you'll find him pulling an engine or sliding under a car. And just about every day, he drives past a half dozen other parts stores on his way to AutoZone. Because Ed knows that when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
How can I get through to you? I want the world to know that Hyundai is a whole new enchilada. But would you listen to me? No. But you listen to the Jackulous 1996 car book when they tell you that Hyundai has one of the lowest preventative maintenance costs in its class. Got your attention now? I think so. Then concentrate. With $1,000 cash back, the Accent is the most affordable car in America. Okay, are your minds finally open? Now, are you ready to get in and drive this baby? Get in the car. Now.
Kay Jewelers presents a holiday shopping tip from Cindy Crawford.
Well, guys, it's that time of year again. And I know you want to give the woman you love something very special. The problem is you may not know what to get. Well, here's something that would put a smile on my face. A beautiful gift of 14-karat gold from Kay Jewelers.
Our exciting new selection of chains and bracelets includes classic Omega styles, the very latest links, and diamond-cut ropes, all specially priced for the holidays.
Let Kay Jewelers make you a little more beautiful, too.
Testing impact jackets in Unit 2.
Emmett Smith. Test in progress.
Prepare to test the jersey.
Emmett Smith, report to staging area B.
Starter Sportswear. No one's closer to the game.
Hey, Harlow's Zach is coming. The hat works great.
Prepare to test the hat.
And happy holidays to you. These are the beautiful lights of Christmas from nearby Disney World. Bob and Chuck and Dick Versace with you. We're at the arena for the Utah Jazz and the Orlando Magic. The Jazz with two great guards, particularly from the outside, Hornacek and Stockton. Brian Russell, who stepped up to play that number 3 spot. Greg Ostertag from Kansas, one of the league leaders in block shots. And, of course, the mailman, Karl Malone. The Orlando Magic, of course, out of the middle is gone is Shaquille, in is Ronnie Cycli, Horace Grant, Dennis Scott at the forwards, and Gerald Wilkins and Brian Shaw at the guards. Both of them can post up some and will tonight. Brian Shaw playing with a touch of the flu. And speaking of difficulties with a lineup and the problems Orlando's had to deal with, let's go to our main man, Dick Versace. Dick.
Thank you, Bob. I have some information on Penny Hardaway's injury. Penny Hardaway is in Houston, Texas. Why? Well, he was sent down there to get a second opinion on the tendonitis that he has in the back of his knee. What is not very common is that he's still there. It's common to get a second opinion, but the Orlando Magic are not very happy with the fact that he's still down there getting rehab. He's going to be coming back on Monday. Apparently, there was a machine that they use in rehab down there that they've now purchased up here. And that's the story on Penny Hardaway's injury. Back to Chuck and Bob.
All right, thank you, Dick. We'll be hearing from you throughout the ball game. Penny Hardaway with that tendonitis in the back of his knee. He's going to be out at least another month. Probably won't play again for the Orlando Magic until early in the new year. There is Jerry Sloan. What a great job he's done at Utah. We've said it so many times, but it's frankly true. A 66% winning average with the Utah Jazz. So after the tip, the ball lost out of bounds and belongs to the Orlando Magic. Orlando's lost 7 out of their last 8, including 3 in a row here at home. Last night in overtime, Utah won down at Miami. Cycli tried to beat Ostertag and missed, and here come the Jazz with Hornacek.
You know, Bob, I sense, though, that the Magic, Hill today, Coach Hill indicated they think they can win this game. They feel very strongly about a revenge game here tonight.
Yeah, they had their worst loss of the season last Saturday night as they concluded a 10-day, 5-game road trip at Utah. Utah beat them by 32. Here's Brian Shaw trying to get the post up. Scott. Ooh, bad pass, but Stockton couldn't get a hold of it. Brian Shaw's runner doesn't go. And here comes John Stockton. One of the top 10 in 4 categories.
Yeah, one of the problems the Magic have without Penny Hardaway, of course, is turnovers, not getting good shoots with some people out. They've got to get good shots.
Nobody's been able to score yet with a minute gone here in the first period of play. Utah again coming off an overtime victory at Miami last night. They didn't have a shoot around today, but they got in about 1 o'clock and should be reasonably rested. 8 on the shot clock. Cycling against Ostertag. Cycling had a very good first half against Ostertag last Saturday night. It was about the only good news for the Magic, but he played Ostertag well.
Well, he's been playing very well. He's had 3 straight double-doubles, and he can give him some force, some offense in the paint, and create some double teams.
Karl Malone had problems with that pass, just took his eye off of it, and the Magic come back very quickly, leading by a score of 2-0. Horace Grant turns it out. Here comes Stockton.
The Magic have got to take advantage of those kind of opportunities. When Stockton missed and hits the top of the board and Karl Malone fumbles it, you know they're a little tired. The Magic can't afford to lose those opportunities.
Yeah, probably not a good pass, certainly by Stockton standing there to Ostertag, and the turnover again. That's 2 turnovers here for the Utah Jazz early. Dennis Scott, bad pass intended for Ronnie Cycli, and then Utah comes back with it. And that's the first turnover for Orlando, leading 2-0 early in the first period.
Dennis Scott that time had Ronnie Cycli early, then tried to make a difficult play out of it, and ended up turning over the ball.
Hornacek with 6 to shoot. Ostertag 7-2. Up and under move stripped away by Brian Shaw. Magic running again. Good pass from Cycli to Gerald Wilkins.
Getting out on the break. Terrific break. And Brian Shaw, who's suffering from the flu, didn't practice yesterday, but he's on the court tonight.
Yeah, just before we tipped off tonight, I asked Brian if he's feeling okay, and he said he was feeling better, but a little weak, so we'll just see how many minutes he can get. Darrell Armstrong will come in at the point. Then Shaw can go a long way, and Karl Malone gets his first 2 of the night.
The prototype of power forward shows you a power move, fake up and under, using glass. They're so efficient. This club, the way they operate both offensively and defensively.
Brian Shaw trying to penetrate inside to Cycli over Greg Ostertag.
One of the things you can do is put John Stockton in a pick and roll, which they did on that last play, and beat him up a little bit on screens, make him work, and then he's not quite as effective.
8:29 to go first period. Magic 6. Jazz have only 1 basket. It came from Karl Malone. Shot clock down to 7. There's that turnaround fadeaway. Not this time. Brian Shaw coming up with the ball to Gerald Wilkins. Wilkins with, of course, the Knicks, the Cavs, 1 season with Vancouver. Cycli throws up the air ball.
Not good. An air ball on a wide open jumper at about 11 feet. Let's get some iron.
Maybe some adrenaline going in. 6-2 Orlando. John Stockton, 8-time All-Star. Karl Malone, they were co-MVPs in '93 in the All-Star game. Hornacek misses from the perimeter. Both teams reasonably cold coming out here. 6-2 Orlando. Shaw's open. This is the 3. Brian Russell with the rebound. Brian Russell playing small forward. David Benoit played there last year. But Brian Russell, who almost missed that jam, has filled in nicely. He's playing pretty well with the small forward spot.
He really has played well. And they've got a deep roster. They've got some good 3s and small forwards over there sitting. But Chris Morris can play that position and do a good job. But Russell has won the job.
Cycli. His running hook will fall and 1.
Cycli very, very active, as we see here. Catches the ball on the post-up. If they get him early and he goes quickly, Ostertag's going to have a tough time. The bump was early and a nice little hook, and he gets the shooter's roll on the front rim.
They're going to give that personal to Hornacek for the reach in. So many times when the big man goes across the middle, gets the bump from the from the other big man, the foul is actually called on the guard who's reaching in, trying to get that ball on the ground across the lane.
Yeah, the first bump looked like the foul. The reach-in was very difficult to see, almost phantom-like.
So Hornacek picks up the personal foul. 7 minutes to go in the first period. Magic 9, Jazz 4. Hornacek trying to battle past Gerald Wilkins, and does. Wilkins trying to hang right with him.
Hornacek shooting 46% from the field, but only 29% on threes. Normally, career-wise, a 40% shooter from threes, not as effective this year as he has been in the past.
Now they're going to go back to Cycli until Ostertag proves he can stop it. He's going to keep shooting those runners in the lane. He's missed 2 out of 3, though.
They made a decision to play him straight up, not double him, and see what he can do.
Wilkins playing Hornacek, looking for Malone. There's that backdoor cut, and then a nice pass from Stockton to Ostertag.
That's the backdoor we showed in the opening.
Yeah.
To John Stockton, and then he couldn't get it off. Circles back. Ostertag cuts down the middle, gets an easy basket.
It's 9-8. Stockton has 3 assists already in 4 minutes.
What else is new?
Here's Gerald Wilkins. 7 on the shot clock. Brian Shaw's going to take a 3. Missed an earlier one, but not this time. Shaw knocks it down.
We've talked about this before, but he once made 10 threes in a game, and last year only shot 28% from the three-point line. This year, shooting a more respectable 35%.
Remember, he had that sore wrist almost all of last year.
Yeah. Obviously, any sore wrist will affect you, shooting or otherwise.
Hornacek and Malone running that high screen roll. Malone addition inside the Ostertag and draws the foul. It's going to be on Brian Shaw. We have a timeout on the floor. Magic 12, Jazz 8, 5:29 to go in the first period.
Kid, you got the talent, but you got a problem. You're too nice. I'm gonna make you bad.
Okay, Mr. Lambert.
Hello, I'm Bill Walton. For every point scored during TNT and TBS NBA telecasts in November and December, American Express will make a $10 donation to the Charge Against Hunger program. And we know how NBA players love to score points.
When you compete in sports, there are some basic rules to follow. I'll start with respect.
Play fair.
Or just don't play.
Keep your cool. Lead by example.
Be proud.
Accept winning and losing with class.
No taunting.
And always stay positive.
So don't just practice your sport. Practice sportsmanship.
Take aim at Eastwood and the Duke, Saturday night on TBS with Magnum Force. Then Cahill, U.S. Marshal, Eastwood and the Duke. Big shots. 8:05 Eastern, Saturday night on TBS.
This is classic Utah Jazz basketball. Here's the entry pass to Malone. Watch the cut. Hold it right there. Wide open. A lot of times he'll score on this play. This time he feels like he has to veer out. Watch what happens. Hold it right there. Ronnie Cycli went over to double. Leaves Ostertag wide open for the jam.
So
Not
a couple
really
of times,
jam, kind of a gliding shot.
Yeah, a couple of times now, Ostertag's been open for that shot as Cycli's left his man. And you see Ostertag's minutes are up and his production is up. Last year, Felton Spencer playing most of the time at center for the Utah Jazz.
Jerry Sloan, he's very happy with Ostertag. Thinks he has some skills and has a chance, and he's feeling his oats. And the fact that he's playing, you know, considerably more minutes, 26 minutes a game, will make you a better player. And you might as well play him. He's not going to get any better sitting on the bench.
All-time block shots leader at the University of Kansas University, I should say, is Greg Ostertag. He's 7'2". This is only his second year. Weighs 280 pounds. Hits 1 out of the 2.
Well, for years, with all the success that the Jazz have had, they've never had, since Eaton, really a guy in the middle who can dominate and be a real physical presence. This might be the guy come playoff time.
Posting up, Horace Grant, turnaround miss. That's not Horace's strong suit, that post up down there. But they're going to have to try to go to it anyway. Brian Shaw He's hit 1 out of 3 from beyond the arc. And Ostertag cleaning those boards early. 12-9 Orlando. 5 minutes to go first period. Orlando's lost 3 in a row here at the Arena.
I don't think there are many clubs as poised as the Jazz. We'll see if it turns out that way, but I've seen them game after game. They'll be down 6-8, minute and a half to go, and somehow get back in it and win it. They don't, bam.
Gerald Wilkins on the baseline. Last night, played at Miami. The Utah Jazz were down 11, came back and won it in overtime. Held in the last 7 minutes, counting overtime, held the Miami Heat to only 2 field goals.
Yeah, they're a very, very confident club. They're confident in their abilities. They know where to go with the ball. They've been together so long, and they really recognize the talents of each other.
And a line drive hook from Ostertag won't go. It's 14-9 Orlando. Chance to build on that lead. And they do. 7-point Bulls. That's the biggest lead of the game for the Magic. And Cycli, just like last Saturday night, he had 13 points in the first half, has 9 in this quarter against Ostertag.
Unfortunately, he didn't complete the game, and it ended right there. I think you're going to see Jerry Sloan tonight start looking at his bench. I think he'll go deeper into his bench and try to search around and find some guys that might contribute. His problem is going to be scoring tonight because of playing last night in an overtime.
But they have 11 players who are playing at least 10 minutes a game. That's deep. Jump hook falls from 8 feet away.
Magic at 9 and 11 are playing tonight one of their better games thus far.
Up by 9, 3:20 to go first period. Malone's fadeaway. It's off to kind of a rough start. Horace Grant plays him pretty well one-on-one.
Yeah, that's the point that Brian Hill made this morning, that they don't double as much because Grant, one of the superior strong forwards defensively, and they can afford to play straight up and force him into tough shots. Thus far, that has been the case in the difference of the game. That way, they don't get double teams, they don't swing the ball, they don't get wide open shots.
Greg Foster and Howard Isley are in for the Utah Jazz. Isley's playing at the point here behind Stockton. Doesn't get that many minutes because he's behind Stockton. Here's one that's set. That's going to be a violation. They'll turn it over. Isley, in case you don't know much about him, was the 30th player taken in the '94 draft by Minnesota, then played some in San Antonio, had played his college ball at Boston College, Detroit, 6'2", 177. Defending Brian Shaw. Dominique's brother working on the low post. Wilkins missing, cycling. Going to be a loose ball foul called against Brian Russell. And Utah gets the timeout with 2:50 to go in the first period, and the Magic up by 7.
How can I get through to you? I want the world to know that Hyundai is a whole new enchilada. But would you listen to me? No. But you listen to the Jack Gillis 1996 car book when they tell you that Hyundai is one of the lowest preventative maintenance costs in its class. Got your attention now? I think so. Then concentrate. With $1,000 cash back, the Accent is the most affordable car in America. Okay, are your minds finally open? Now, are you ready to get in and drive this baby? Get in the car. Now.
Oh, no, the big city dealers have kidnapped Rocky. To raise the ransom, I'll have to sell 500 cars. Well, that shouldn't be too hard with 97 Escort 4-doors from $99 a month and 97 Ranger 4x2 pickups as low as $119 a month and 97 F-150 4x2 pickups just $129 a month. You can help make a great deal at Adams Ford Belden and help ransom Rocky. Hang in there, Rocky. We're coming for you. Or my name isn't Adams, Ray Adams.
Behind every great woman, there's a story to be told.
I have no regrets at all. I regret the things I didn't do.
Their defining moments. What they achieved. Who they loved. Why they struggled. How they survived.
And say simply, with hope, good morning.
Women who have changed the world. Stories that will change your life. Intimate portrait.
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
welcome to the arena in Central Florida. People around here are shivering. It was what? It was only about 40-something degrees today. You'd have thought we were in Alaska with the Central Florida folks. TBS on Thursday, December 26th. We have Orlando again down at Miami. Then on TNT Friday, January 3rd, Chuck and I, speaking of cold, be in Chicago with the Magic. TNT on Tuesday, January 7th, Miami at Seattle. Ought to be a good matchup. Seattle been struggling a little bit lately. Darryl Armstrong's in for Orlando now.
And there's Gerald Wilkins on a classic post-up, really taking Hornacek to school.
That's something that Orlando can do here is post their guards. Darryl Armstrong, who's in now to defend Isley, not really a post-up guard, but Brian Shaw and Gerald Wilkins can do it. Here's Isley.
They go to the post. They run that little split. It's one of the oldest plays in basketball, even as old as the pick and roll, but very effective for this club. They clean it out from Malone. They make that shot.
3D, Dennis Scott with his first. Oh, he stepped on the line. I went to his nickname. I was going to promote his restaurant. I was going to talk about his movie. But no, that was a 2. Sorry.
So you've got to show him.
That's not going to do it. Armstrong beaten by Isley off the dribble. Out to Greg Foster from the perimeter. Foster, who played at UCLA and University of Texas El Paso.
These are the kind of games, if you're Jerry Sloan, when you played 3 games in 4 nights and you play back-to-back overtime, your bench starts to come alive. Find a couple guys can make shots, keep you in the game, and try to hang around, go down the stretch with your superstars.
Cycling misses on the turnaround, and the loose ball ends up in the hands of Karl Malone. Magic 22-15 with a minute and a half to go, first period. Hornacek comes off the baseline screen, misses the turnarounder, and Cycling has the rebound. Here's Darryl Armstrong. He's played in the USBL, the GBL, the CBA, the Methodist Church League, YMCA,
and he finally got a job.
The CYO. There's a couple of leagues I played in, the CYO League. Under a minute to go, first period, 22-15 Orlando. Malone working against Horace Grant, gives it up to Foster. Nice step-in move by Greg Foster.
Greg Foster, 2 facing jumpers and gets them back in the game.
With 46 seconds to go in the period, Jess Kersey wanted to make sure that the clock was set properly. 46 seconds in the period and a 24-second shot clock. Our officials tonight are Jess Kersey, Don Baden, and Leon Wood, by the way. 22-17 Orlando. They put 3 seconds back on. Cycling, see if he works as well against Foster as he... We've got a hand check call.
They've made the determination. They're going to play straight up, not going to double. They're going to come when he gets to the lane. But Cycling is so quick that he gets all the way to the basket and has had a very big first quarter.
Yeah, that penalty was on Greg Foster for the hand check. Derek Strong comes in. Cycling sits down with 9 points and 3 rebounds here in the first period. Derek Strong, who played with the Los Angeles Lakers last year, you may recall, and his playing time cut in Magic in his comeback. What a pass that was. And I think 3D was open for the 3.
He was definitely open, wanted it badly. Unfortunately, had to go into the bleachers to get it.
He's playing with 3 stitches he got in his head when they played last Saturday. He had a collision with Brian Russell.
And he wanted to make sure that you knew about that.
Anything for a little extra bub for 3D, except I'm not going to deal with the restaurant until he hits a triple. Believe me, he'll take a few more shots. 7 seconds in the period. Isley. Hornacek from the corner. Brian Russell wanted to tip it, but there's 3/10 of a second left, and that's probably going to be the last opportunity for anybody in this period. 22-17 Orlando. They'll inbound it, and that'll end the quarter. But how about this? Only 17 points have been scored by the Utah Jazz. They're averaging 100 points a game this year.
One of the few teams in the league, I might add. 1 of 4, I believe, and their differential is 9.7.
How about that? Would you believe there could be a shot off in 3/10?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Cycling 9 points, 3 rebounds against Ostertag and Foster in the first period from the arena.
Friday night, NBA on TNT. Orlando plans to work its magic on Chicago. But the Bulls have a few tricks of their own. Watch Jordan, Pippen, and the world champion Chicago Bulls take on the Orlando Magic. Magic Bulls, Friday, January 3rd. The NBA's on TNT. Don't miss a game.
Freshness Hotline, what's the problem?
Man, my party is lame. I think I got some skunky beer.
Sir, relax. When was your beer born?
Born? What are you talking about?
It doesn't have a born-on date?
A what?
Do you have any Budweiser?
No, man, you gotta help me.
Okay, remain calm, sir. We're on our way.
New Born on Dating from Budweiser, because fresh beer tastes better.
No! Sir, put down the skunky beer and slowly back away.
You think I'm gonna dunk? I unleash my reverse layup. You think I'm gonna dunk? I unfold my jump hook. You think I'm gonna dunk? I serve up my fall-away jumper. You think I'm gonna dunk? You think too much. You see, this is my planet.
Only from Domino's, new garlic crunch crust pizza, roasted garlic. Baked right into our classic hand-tossed dough, then sprinkled with Parmesan crunchies all around the edge. It's a delicate blend of herbs and garlic in every bite of our delicious steaming crust. Call now and get a large one topping just $9.99. New garlic crunch crust for a limited time only.
We're hot and wild, call Domino's.
There's a good shot of Chuck Daly on the left with Snow White at a parade last night. Chuck, you look good in that outfit. You're talking about one of the old-fashioned plays, staple of the game, split.
Watch this split. The ball gets to Jeff Hornacek here in the corner. He'll enter the ball to Malone. Now hold it right there. Malone has room to operate because Hornacek's going to set a pick and Isley's going to come off, which allows him to operate. But in this case, he sets the pick, gives it to Isley. Isley wide open, has time to square up, get an extra bounce, and score it. An old-fashioned play, but it cleans it up for Malone. That's why he's able to not be double-teamed and have so many opportunities one-on-one.
Here's a man in the game now. Chris Morris just checked in along with Anderson. Shandon Anderson's the rookie. There's Chris Morris. Played for you at New Jersey. Ran up to you before the game and says, Chuck, I'd like to play for you again. You got to get a team.
You know why? He got a lot of minutes. He did. They all want minutes.
Tremendously talented offensive player, Chris Morris. And Shandon Anderson, first-round draft choice from University of Georgia, brother of Willie. Morris playing Dennis Scott. Morris, SEC player, too, from Auburn. Dennis Scott out of Georgia Tech, since we're talking SEC here. Georgia Tech, Georgia, Auburn. Players on the floor.
Dennis Scott really working to the basket. Some of the things that he hasn't done over his career. He's always been a standstill shooter. Got to develop more ways to try to score.
There's Shandon Anderson. Tremendous athletic ability. Shandon is 6'6", about 210 pounds, and as you'll see in his minutes here, he's an explosive player.
Made a big difference his club, and there's no question that Sloan and Phil Johnson really, really like him as a player. They say no fringes, just plays.
6 on the shot clock. Here's Darrell Armstrong. There's a 3, missed it. Rebound, Chris Morris.
Here's one of the advantage of the substitution of Stockton coming against the second point guard of the other club. He comes back in and allows him to get this club on track offensively. Not in that case, however.
Got the foul called. 3-second, I thought so, violation. And Antoine Carr checks in for Karl Malone.
Antoine Carr, an 8th round pick or an 8th pick
in Detroit.
In Detroit, never signed him.
Went to Italy, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Never saw him. I was fighting for my job before I ever had it. Dennis Scott don't sign a first-round draft choice.
This is the lay-in. Here's Stockton. He may go all the way. He's at the bounce. Derek Strong. who's been just that on the board since he came into the ball game. Derek out Xavier. Armstrong from 16 feet. Dennis Scott with a nice pass.
There's no question that the Orlando Magic are a step quicker right now. And it's something that the Utah Jazz are going to have to fight all night long. It's an uphill battle. See if they can get to the lead and control the game.
Brian Shaw picking off the rookie who tried to float one in over the veteran. Armstrong, he's lightning quick, but look at the hands of Chris Morris. And Armstrong commits the foul.
Chris Morris is one of those players, a lot like Chris Mullen, who likes to come from behind, make steals, doesn't like the classic way of playing, really capable but doesn't, but loves to go behind, as we saw there, then ended up getting fouled on the steal.
Here's a look at his hands.
Example, he's got caught, he just reaches over and stabs it quickly to the ball. He's an excellent athlete.
Armstrong now defending John Stockton. 9:27 to go in the first half. 26-19 Orlando. Low scoring game. Only 2 points scored by the Jazz in this period so far. Jess Kersey with the whistle. Dennis what? Me? Who? Me? Scott?
His first, second team foul.
That'll be Dennis' first personal. He did produce a movie this summer called Shooting, literally, an actual film called Shooting from the Heart. Probably because of his connection with Shaquille in Hollywood. Probably. I was going to say Shooting from the Mouth would have been better with Dennis Scott, but Dennis might think I was serious. There's Brian Hill, who every year we say this, underrated head coach. We keep saying it, you're going to have to say we're rating him, right?
A very worried look. He's not totally unhappy with where they are, 9-11. He feels like this club, if they can get some people back, particularly Hardaway and, of course, Nick Anderson, they can make some waves and have a strong record.
A lot of movement by Ronnie Cycli. I mean, that's a lot of post-up moves. Reminds you a little bit of somebody like Kevin McHale. Greg Foster commits the personal foul on Ronnie Cycli. That's 2 on Foster. Cycli's free throw shooting is getting better and better. He's shooting 72%. He started off pretty poor free throw shooter in the NBA, but you see the last 3 games, Cycli has been the man here. 23, nearly 24.
Well, yeah, they made the decision they're going to go to him. He's in the low post. He's one of those guys that, as we just talked about, very, very active. And if you're not going to double team him quickly, he's going to get in the lane. And there's a guy they desperately need. But we're not sure how long he's going to be out. We had him prior to this when he had that injury, and it's a nerve type thing in his wrist. However, Brian Hill seems to think he'll be back sooner than later.
Yeah, talking about Nick Anderson, who dresses very well. Last time we had a game, and he had on that don't adjust your set shirt. Here's an Antoine Carr into Foster with the up and under and left hand. Nice move by Greg. Good offensive player. Foster's played at Washington, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Chicago, Minnesota, and now Utah. And as I told you, 2 colleges, UCLA and UTEP, has 6 points, 3 out of 3 since he came into this game. Brian Shaw misses the 3. Derek Strong keeps working to keep it alive for Cycli. Credit Derek Strong's work on that basket for Cycli.
If you can't get it, keep it alive. Dennis Rodman has proved that the way he rebounds. All he does is keep it alive till he can run it down or somebody can get it. Perfect example right there.
Or till the other guy gets tired.
Yeah, right. That's part of it.
Darrell Armstrong has Shaw. Is going to take it all the way. No! Should have dished, maybe. Stockton. Morris will take this. Morris misses it, but he's a good outside shooter.
Chris gets down on himself, although he's never met a shot that he wouldn't take. He's taking too quickly. He shot for about an hour and a half out here. I don't think he missed any threes, but he had 2 good shots, hasn't been able to get up.
Wave off the basket and give the foul to Antoine Carr. And now, making his first appearance for the Orlando Magic is Kenny Smith, who began the season with the Detroit Pistons. Of course, has 2 rings from his play with the Houston Rockets, just signed this week. And he's really hadn't had a full practice yet. Filling in, of course, with Hardaway and Anderson out, they needed help at the guard spot. Cut Brooks Thompson and signed Kenny Smith. Looking for Cycli. He's got 12 points already. Lob it in over Foster. And a 3-second violation. Whistled by Jess Kirsten.
Well, Foster fronted him and forced him to stay in the lane. And they faked the pass twice. It was close, but could have been called.
7:20 to go in the first half. Magic lead it by 6, 29-23. Asked Kenny Smith, I said, how do you adjust this quickly to a new team? He says, basketball is basketball.
Along with the fact that he's motel. He's one of those years. That's right.
From long range, Chris Morris misses it, and Brian Shaw with a rebound. What a nice delivery from Brian Shaw. Smith missed, Derek Strong missed, and Cycli tipped it.
Cycli very, very active, following, getting to a lot of loose balls in the lane, and it's paying off, making it very difficult for the Jazz. The Jazz are going to make a move here.
This is a replay for Cycli in the first half in the Utah win last Saturday night. Foster thought about it. Had Chris Morris posted against Cycli. 2 seconds on the shot clock. 1 second on the shot clock for Utah when they inbound the ball. Now we'll get a timeout on the floor with 6:25 to go in the period. And the Magic up by 8.
Samson and Delilah, Sunday at 4 on TNT.
What now? You're using the wrong tool. Ford F-Series with the world's only standard third door. And available new 5.4-liter Triton V8 for even more torque and horsepower.
Now you got all your holes dug, huh?
The new Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
For years now, Pat and I have relied on Peter and his family to take care of our clothing needs. I enjoy dressing well, and Jack Henry makes it easy. Whether I need a new tuxedo for tonight or some great casual clothes for a trip, I know that I'll get the best quality and service. Peter's family is dedicated to continuing the Jack Henry tradition of being Kansas City's best classic clothier. Visit Jack Henry on the beautiful Country Club Plaza.
Oh, no! The big city dealers have kidnapped Rocky. To raise the ransom, I'll have to sell 500 cars. Well, that shouldn't be too hard with 97 Cavaliers from just $159 a month, 97 S10 pickups also starting at $159 a month, and 97 Geo Metros at only $119 a month. Make a great deal at Adams Chevy Raytown or Adams Chevy Belton and help ransom Rocky. Hang in there, Rocky. We're coming for you. Or my name isn't Adams, Ray Adams.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Here's another clip for your Allen Iverson highlight reel. Tonight, Sixers taking on the Knicks. End of the half, Iverson doing a little magic. Hey, beat the clock. Off the glass. 14 points in the first half for Iverson. He's averaged over 30 in 2 Philadelphia wins over the Knicks this year. And at the break, they got a 3-point lead over the Knicks. Let's go back.
See, I think Allen Iverson is just a digitalized character because every time I see him, he's hurt. But every time I look at a highlight, there he is. Ronnie Cycli, 14 points, 5 boards. Adam Keefe's coming in out of the ball game for Utah. Adam Keefe, a lottery draft choice for the Atlanta Hawks a few years ago from Stanford. There was only 1 second on the clock, remember, when they inbounded the ball, and Carr had to throw up the prayer. It wasn't answered. The Magic with an 8-point lead with a chance to get double digits here in the leading column with 6:24 to go in the first half.
Jerry Sloan not very happy, and they're going to have to do something about Cycli. If they're going to continue playing straight up, he's going to have his own way because he's too agile and too quick for the people he's playing against, and he's going to get to the hole.
See what Foster can do with him. There's a double team from Stockton. Smith's open. Penetration in the dish to Shaw. 7 on the clock. Good ball movement. Kenny Smith short arms it. But nice ball movement.
Excellent ball movement. Kenny Smith is he's a product of the game today. He's so used to standing at the three-point line and shooting shots. He's going to have to reacquaint his game without a true post-up guy.
Greg Foster saw an open middle and took advantage of it. Greg has 8 points off the bench. Ostertag started. Smith to Gerald Wilkins. 10 on the shot clock for Orlando. Leading by 6. Another turnover. That's the 5th. the game for Orlando, 8 for Utah, and 9. Adam Keefe stood on the line.
He might have even gone outside and came back in.
Coming up at halftime, the Nike halftime report. Ernie Johnson, Reggie Theus in our Atlanta studios. Highlights from tonight's action. Look at NBA players spreading some Christmas cheer. Knocked out of bounds by Utah. 12 on the shot clock for Orlando.
This is a tough one for Kenny Smith to get acquainted on a very short stint, 1 or 2 practices. While basketball is basketball in the NBA, it's knowing the people that you're playing with, which becomes so important.
Got a hand check call on Stockton. And you were mentioning when we were in a commercial, John Stockton's legs look like they look maybe as though he played an overtime game just last night down in Miami.
Yeah, it kind of looks that way. He doesn't have quite the spark. He's going to have to fight his way back into this. And he will, if it gets down and they can remain anywhere in the game and stay close, he'll get very dangerous over the last 5 or 10 minutes.
That ball was punched away nicely by Howard Isley. Shandon Anderson. And Anderson takes it all the way for the lay-in. There's a long arm to the 6'6" Shandon Anderson.
Shooting 42% from the field, but he's very, very athletic for his size. And a very interesting player to add to this, I think, a very deep roster.
Two-man game with Cycli and Smith. Big Antoine Carr kept him out of the paint, but Cycli with a baseline spin, and Ronnie has 16 first-half points with 4:30 to go.
When he's playing well, you've almost got a double team. He demands a double team, otherwise he's going to get his points, but they've elected not to do that, and it's hurt him thus far.
Whistle away from the ball.
However, the Utah Jazz not playing maybe their best basketball, are only 5 down, and Malone and Stockton basically haven't been involved in this game thus far.
That foul is on Kenny Smith. His first. Malone has 4 points. Stockton has yet to score. Malone trying to hit Antoine Carr on the baseline, and nearly stolen by Stockton. 33-27 Orlando. 4 minutes to go, first period. Orlando's lost their last 3 here at home. Kenny Smith, you can tell he's rusty. Long pass to Stockton. His grandpa, who's said to be the greatest football player in Gonzaga history, would be appreciative of the way he caught that football pass.
Tremendous pass. And I like the fact Stockton, so clever at leaking out. If you can time it just right.
3:42 to go in the half. Travel call on Derek Strong. Here you go. This is quarterback Karl Malone and crafty wide receiver John Stockton.
What made that play was the miss.
No kidding.
No iron, no nothing. Just direct pass off the board.
Rebound Cycli off the Shandon Anderson miss. (33-29) Magic by 4. Stockton. Malone. And the foul on Horace Grant. Stockton, Malone, Stockton, Malone. Here's what they're doing tonight.
That's what we talked about in the lobby before we came over here, that Groundhog movie with Bill Murray. A place I used to coach, by the way. But that park, he's keep coming back to that park. And if you've done games or watched them, that's all you ever hear. Stockton to Malone, Stockton to Malone. It's much like a reoccurring dream.
You wake up every morning and it's Stockton. Malone.
There ought to be some commercial possibilities in Utah for that.
Yeah, nationally, you know, I'm surprised there haven't been as many commercial exploitation of Karl Malone. Actually, it's them exploiting the commercial market of Malone and Stockton, as you'd have thought over the years. Both of these players, each of them have missed 4 games in their career. Think of that.
Well, frankly, if there's an advertising agent out there that comes up with this idea, we should share in some percentage of the idea, because I think it's very viable.
You got that right. You got lawyers, too, if you're listening, you know. Make sure to send us our check. 33-31 Orlando. Utah on an 8-2 run. Armstrong paid the price. He beat Stockton off the dribble, but got the lay-in. Stops that 8-2 run. 2:59 to go in the half. Here's the pick and roll. Malone and Stockton. Looked like he had Malone. Out to Antoine Carr. Errol Armstrong from Fayetteville State. 3D. Says wanted to foul on Malone, didn't get it.
Way off the mark, and this Jazz club really struggling.
Yeah, you can see Stockton missing, and he was wide open for that shot.
Here's one of the problems if you're Jerry Sloan. You're standing there thinking, I know they're really tired. I've got some guys who probably might play a little bit better tonight, but these are the guys I got to live with throughout the year. So I'm going to wait it out and see what happens, and that's exactly what he'll do, because they're very sensitive about being taken out of the game, making sure they get their minutes.
2 seconds on the shot clock. That was a tough basket from Dennis Scott. 6-point lead for the Magic once again with 2 minutes to go in the half.
That was a runner off the wrong foot. There used to be a guy in the old Eastern League, Ozzie Prokopic, used to have that shot. Probably before you.
Ozzie Prokopic.
I got that shot, by the way.
Yeah, I want to see that. Here's Stockton. No look, intended pass for Malone. Minute 42 to go in the half. Timeout Utah, trailing by 6. Back to the arena in a minute.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Fila. Change the game.
I just adore a penthouse view.
Ford Explorer. Fits at home, anywhere.
What are you doing to the boards?
Throw elbow.
Guy's on a fast break.
Triple.
That guy looks at you.
Refer to his mother.
What's this? He's got it. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
No more. No more.
Wait, this isn't me. I gotta play with decency, honesty. I gotta play clean. Nice shot.
Chuck, we said at the beginning of the game that Cycli had a good game last Saturday in the loss to Utah. Tonight, 16 points, 7 rebounds already.
There's a fadeaway jumper, getting to the basket, moving off the wrong foot. Here, catching a rebound, going back up, jamming it. He's a one-man gang here tonight.
Spinning, whirling dervish. Ronnie Cycli, 16 points already and 7 boards. There was nobody right in his face on any of those, but with his movement, it looked like his man's having trouble getting face up on him.
Well, he's very agile. He's very quick for his size and can get those kind of shots. He's a tough guy to play. That's why I say I don't think you can live with single coverage on him, as agile as he is.
Gerald Wilkins back in the ball game, being defended by Hornacek. That's a 2. Gerald Wilkins pulling up over Jeff. 39-31 Orlando. Minute 20 to go in the half. You know, we may be in another race to 90 points again. You know, you changed that whole rule, didn't you?
Yeah, the theory used to be, the Al Domenico theory used to be to 100, but now we've changed it. It's now first team to 90 usually wins the game. Let's see how it plays out. If they can make 90.
39-31. Only a minute 7 away from the half. Upcoming games on Turner Sports. TBS Thursday, December 26th. Day after Christmas. That's Orlando down at Miami, and that's on TBS. TNT Friday the 3rd, Orlando at Chicago. And TNT Tuesday the 7th of January. Our first games of 1997 will be Miami at Seattle.
Be interesting to see if Hardaway can come back after the beginning of the year. He's working on this tendonitis in Houston, but some people seem to think that he could be back earlier. Dick touched on it earlier. The machine, they have a special machine that can work the leg. And it is amazing today, the amount of machines that they have that can work the various muscles.
And apparently effectively so. Orlando leads 39-33 with a minute to go. Dennis Scott still hasn't found his triple.
Well, Dennis, you know, has been out for some time, and he always has had a weight problem, and he seems to be struggling with it a little bit as of right now.
Darrell Armstrong very wisely pitched the ball in the middle to Wilkins, then got it back but missed the shot. Here's Malone, Adam Keefe. One touch to Foster, back to Malone. Blocked by Cycli, but he committed the foul.
The guards, Hornacek, Stockton struggling to get the ball inside. Let's take a look at this. There's the pass. Cycli comes. Yeah, he gets his left hand. He says, I didn't foul him because I got my right hand and blocked the ball. But watch his left hand under the arm and pushed him. That's definitely a foul.
Karl Malone getting to the free throw line less this year than he has in the past. He's like just under 8 free throw attempts a game, and he usually is among the NBA leaders, often the leader in free throw attempts.
You know what I love about him? His consistency. Scoring-wise, career score 26 points. This year, 25-9. Shooting percentage, how about 52 career, 52.5 this year? That is some consistency. And if you know what you're going to get every night as a coach, then you've got a pretty good leg up on a pretty good basketball team with a talent like Karl Malone.
Last night, look at the numbers, 35 and 16. Karl's 4 out of 5 from the free throw line tonight. 4 out of 6, and Derek Strong will just check back in, gets the board. 6-point Orlando lead. Trying to build on it with 24 seconds to go in the half, 15 on the shot clock. Isolation here for Wilkins, down inside. Now Malone playing and nearly stealing the ball from Cycli. 7 on the shot clock.
Yeah, an interesting matchup. You know, a limited time here on the clock with 14 seconds, 7 on the shot clock. Malone with those great hands, though, he could slap it away. And here's a 20.
Called by Brian Hill of the Orlando Magic. With the Utah Jazz, they're played 15 of their first 21 games at home, which is very strange. But now they're having to play 16 of the next 21 on the road. This is the beginning of a 5-game Eastern road swing.
That'll take its toll. When you've got to play that many, when you get that many games in, which is a very strange scheduling situation for the NBA, but they're going to pay in fatigue. They've built this record because there's been really no fatigue from all of the travel. With all the games they're going to have to play, you'll see that slip away. The games they were winning at home, they'll lose a couple of those games at home. That record will even out a little bit, but nevertheless, you take them whenever you can get a win. You grab them and run.
There you see their road trip. They lost the first one at New York, won last night down in Miami, and are trailing here 39-33 with 14 seconds to go in the half. Orlando, Darrell Armstrong, 4 on the shot clock. Armstrong loses the ball. Look at that pass to Stockton from Malone. Wow. That's twice. 2 seconds. How did Armstrong get that basket to go? Count it. Darrell Armstrong. 41-35 Orlando. A quick flurry there in 7 seconds. And here for the second time in this period, quarterback Karl Malone to John Stockton. Take a look at this. Touchdown. After a commercial timeout, we'll join Ernie and Reggie for the Nike halftime report in Atlanta.
Season's greetings from the NBA.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
Ford Ranger has always been able to adapt to just about any environment because Ranger gives you a wide choice of body styles and an incredible variety of available features like anti-lock brakes and a whopping 4-liter V6. So, no matter how the scenery changes, you can fit in without ever blending in. Ford Ranger. the best-selling compact pickup in America, starting at just $10,880.
You can't have pool parties when I'm on the road. This is what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Tyler, you left your toothbrush at my house.
That's you, LP, that's you.
I know my spot, fool. You can't guard me. The Secret Service couldn't guard me.
I mean, you can have a regular party, but you can't have any more pool parties. Look at this. The filter's messed. This guy has taken the NBA by... Mom! Hi, Mom.
Oh, you gotta love it. Hey, Karl Malone and John Stockton hooking up, but not nearly enough. A couple of quarters in the teens have Utah down by 6, 41-35. We welcome you to our Atlanta studio. Ernie Johnson and Reggie Theus playing the two-man game as we bring you the Nike Halftime Report. Last season, the Detroit Pistons showed a whopping 18-game improvement in the one-loss column over the previous year. In his rookie season, Doug Collins led them to 46 wins, and right now, they're on pace to blow that away. The Pistons are an NBA best 9 games ahead of last year's pace as they hit Market Square for a date with the Pacers. Haven't had much luck in this building over the last 6 years. Doug Collins watching his guys go to work, and Otis Thorpe. Watch the big fella run the floor. You gonna give it up? No, why should I? Like a golf ball, he dunks it. Grant Hill, not only did he pick up a T in this game, he only had 1 all last year, he also picked up the uncontested jumper and knocked it down. Grant Hill with 11 points in the first half, and Eric Dampier, the Indiana rookie, trying to keep him in it. Low-scoring first half at Market Square. Detroit was on top at the break, 38-36. Now in the third, Indiana claiming a 1-point lead, 48-47. The New Jersey Nets and the Atlanta Hawks at the Omni. And there's Willie Burton. He's the guy who hit the three that broke the record of 19 threes the other night in Dallas, and he getting a start for Ty Corbin and knocks one down. Mookie Blaylock, number 4 in the league in steals, doing his thing. And Dikembe Mutombo, number 2 in the league in blocks. Swatting Tony Massenberg and giving us the finger, as only Dikembe can. They're running away with this thing at the Omni in downtown Atlanta, 77-48 the count. The Hawks trying to make it 5 straight wins. The Nets trying to avoid their 5th straight loss. Let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks. I know you went to shoot around today. Lenny Wilkins got that team playing pretty well, Reg.
Yeah, you know, Lenny's mantra for the team is to get yours in the flow and let defense dictate the game. And the man on defense for them is Mutombo. And I talked to him this morning. He told me, I love the way this guy talks, and he says, the guys know if they funnel their man to the certain spot, the big fella will be there. What he's saying is they can take defense and they can extend themselves, take some chances, and they funnel them to the right spot. He's going to be there for them every single time, and nobody comes in my house.
I tell you, they also have been knocking down threes at an alarming rate, 19 in Dallas, the record the other night, 8 in the first half tonight. Now the news out of Houston. Charles Barkley has been suspended 2 games and fined $7,500. Clyde Drexler, 1 game and $5 grand for their argument with referee Jack Neese last night as Houston lost to San Antonio. Barkley actually drew blood when he poked Neese on the nose, but the league says it appeared unintentional. When we come back, the Sixers go for the hat trick against New York. Allen Iverson's had a knack for knocking off the Knicks, and he's at it again tonight. We'll check it out when we come back.
When developing the Seiko Kinetic watch, we applied for 50 patents. How could we fit them all inside? We took out the battery. Seiko Kinetic, the amazing quartz watch that never needs a battery.
Here we are at the world's do-it-yourself finals. Larry Snyder's up in the routing compulsories. This man's making a name for himself today. Very smooth. But can Larry and his trusty Ryobi tools handle the 4x4? He takes it deep. Out of here. This kid's coming in unranked. But he's got all the tools, the power, the touch. Oh, he's in the zone now!
Still up in the air on great gift ideas? Hold everything. Circuit City has a huge selection of the season's best gifts, all at guaranteed low prices. Save on TVs, camcorders, and computers, home and car audio, microwaves, and digital satellite systems. Plus, we have thousands of CDs under $10 every day. Our expert sales counselors can answer all your questions, and we're open extended holiday hours with extra help to get you in and out fast. Circuit City, you can't get a better price. We guarantee it.
Pick up a McDonald's Crispy Chicken Deluxe with an all-white meat breast filet and fresh toppings. The great grown-up taste, the perfect holiday treat.
Can MasterCard predict the future? Well, someday a computer chip in your MasterCard will be able to recognize your finger pattern, making your personal ID truly personal and your MasterCard even more secure. MasterCard, it's smart money.
Ronnie Cycli with 16 points. Orlando struggling at home this year, but they have a 41-35 lead over the Jazz as the Nike halftime report continues. Coming into this season, the Knicks had the Sixers number. They'd beaten them 8 of the last 9 and 24 of the last 29. And then along came Allen Iverson. Though he can't take all the credit for Philly's 2 wins in 2 meetings with the Knicks, man, you gotta like his numbers. Putting up better than 30 points in the 2 games. You see the rebounds at 8, the assists at 7.5. The important thing, you've won 2, and he's fouled out 3 Knick guards trying to check number 3. Tonight, we go to the Core State Center, Sixers and the Knicks, and there's the answer. And Chris Childs didn't have an answer for the answer right here.
Now you see him, now you don't. Oh, too quick.
Yeah, rumor has it he wears number 3. Look at Jeff Van Gundy saying, man alive, we got to stop this kid. Allen Houston didn't have the touch when he went back to Detroit the other night. He's got it tonight, had 4 threes in the first half, and he had 16 first-half points. Look at Iverson getting Buck Williams up in the air and then knocking it down. And check this out at the end of the half.
I mean, Van Gundy's worried about off the dribble, and there it is again, just all over the place.
14 first-half points for Allen Iverson. The Knicks, though, have reclaimed a third-quarter lead, 62-59. Allen Houston lighting it up with 22 points for New York, who have lost the first 2 meetings of the season against Philadelphia. Elsewhere, the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers playing at Gund Arena tonight, and in the third quarter, Cleveland's running away with this thing. They lead at 64-47. Damon Stoudemire was held to 7 points in the first half for the Raptors. We'll be back with more on the Nike halftime report. But first, a couple of minutes of holiday cheer, courtesy of NBA players around the country doing some pretty good work off the court, too.
Ho, ho, ho! Look what Santa got for you!
Is that the Lion King on your tummy? Huh, right there? Who is that? It's a lot of fun. You just see the smiles on the kids' faces, and it's great. Who are you? What's your name? Brianna. That is a pretty, pretty name. How we doing, Santa? Here you go.
They're on top of the moon, and that's the reward for us, you know, is to see their eyes get big, fulfilled by meeting someone that they've seen on television, man. That's great.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way.
Let's take a picture.
Okay.
How about that? Okay. Maybe we can bring some smiles on some people's face and give some of these kids a lot of confidence and maybe even help pull them through. Thank you.
Hey, Mike. How you doing? You ready, Mike? Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Well, they get a chance to see Mookie Blaylock. They get a chance to see Dikembe Mutombo. And I mean, that's a chance of a lifetime, so hopefully they'll bring a little joy and cheer to their holidays. There you go, Mike. You're welcome. All right, Merry Christmas.
The Christmas spirit is alive in all children. And for us to come out and spend time with them and hopefully cheer them up and get cheered up ourselves, it just means a lot to them, means a lot to us.
Dad, Mom.
You'll find gifts for everyone on your list.
Oh, yeah, Diane, Uncle Bill.
At low holiday prices.
The mailman.
At the Ace Great Wrap-Up Sale, so hurry in before we wrap it up.
At AutoZone, we carry filters for just about every car on the road. And we've got just about any kind of oil you'd ever need. More than 10 brands and 30 weights. But no matter which oil you choose to put in your car, you gotta do something with the old stuff. So just bring your used oil back to us. We'll take care of it. You see, helping you recycle oil, that's just one more reason why there's no place better than AutoZone.
Topped with ripe red tomato and fresh green lettuce, McDonald's deluxe sandwiches fit right into the holidays. The great grown-up taste, the perfect holiday treat.
Celebrating the NBA at 50, American Express brings you one-on-one, a matchup of NBA stars past and present. At 6'9", Magic Johnson reinvented the point guard position with the ability to see past his opponents at any angle. At 6'7", Orlando's Penny Hardaway uses his size the same way to find a teammate or simply to find the basket. Well, it's going to be a day after Christmas Battle of Florida on TBS. Orlando and Miami meet December 26th at 8 o'clock Eastern on TBS. After the Jazz and Magic tonight on TNT, inside the NBA with all the night's highlights, a profile of the big dog, Glenn Robinson, and the story of big names no longer making the really big bucks. We'll see you later.
Imagine if every time you bought something with your American Express card or made a purchase through an American Express financial advisor, you helped feed someone who's hungry. With the charge against hunger, we can all do more.
Zale sells more diamonds than any jeweler in the country, like these quarter-carat diamonds for just $99. Just one of the reasons we also see more smiles than any jeweler in the country. Zales, the diamond and holiday gift store.
Fresh toppings, the soft bakery roll. Today, make it McDonald's Arch Deluxe. The great grown-up taste, the perfect holiday treat.
There are no rest stops in life. Great moments fly by 1,000,000 miles an hour. But that's okay. Because with its more powerful engine and refined suspension, new Camry owners are in for one smooth, comfortable ride. The new Camry, smoother, more powerful, more affordable than ever.
What do you like best about Sprint Cents?
10 cents a minute. The rates are a flat rate.
It's no wonder over the last few months so many people have signed up for Sprint Cents. 10 cents a minute every evening and all weekend long.
And Jones Intercable customers who call now can save up to $48 a year on premium movie channels.
It's as simple as that.
1 minute, 2 minutes.
A dime a minute is a wonderful deal.
What are you paying for a minute of long distance?
Call now and save up to $48 a year on premium movie channels from Jones Intercable.
Trouble telling it's the holiday season in Central Florida. Orlando celebrating a little early here with a 41-35 lead. One of the biggest things I noticed, Chuck, at the beginning of this ball game is that there have been 11 more shot attempts taken by Orlando than Utah, because they've had those 12 turnovers. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Utah Jazz off to the best start in franchise history. But one of the things, they've had three things that have been consistent over the last decade. Malone, Stockton, and maybe even more importantly, certainly equally, is Jerry Sloan. A lot of people don't talk about him. It's a small television market. And Jerry Sloan, in case you're not Chuck's at my age, you may want to go back a little bit and remember him from the Evansville Purple Aces, where he was a three-time All-American. Played 10 seasons for the Chicago Bulls, twice an All-Star. And after his playing career ended, he was a coach in Chicago, 2 years as an assistant, 3 as a head coach. Took over as Jazz head coach from Frank Layton back in 1988. And I love this. This is what Dick Motta said Jerry Sloan always told him before a game. My team's up 17 before we start. Before we can start play, because I'm going to hold my man 10 under his average. I'm going to get 10 rebounds, 3 that I shouldn't be getting. I'm going to take 3 charges, and I'm going to get 3 loose balls that I shouldn't be getting. And my question to you as we take a look now at the more mature Jerry Sloan.
He's aged because of the coaching.
You bring all of that basketball talent and heart. What does it mean to the Utah Jazz?
Well, a consistent program. He's very tough-minded. He knows what he likes. It isn't about the glamour and about scoring. It's about the essentials of being a good basketball team, and he epitomizes that.
Yeah, Jerry Sloan, 9th year with the Jazz, longest tenure in NBA. As we talked to him today, I think he would very much like to finish his career right there in Salt Lake City.
Well, I hope he does, and I hope successfully. The problem that they face is the Malone-Stockton thing. What happens when the age catches up with them, and how do they attract this kind of player again? Because they're legendary, they're both Hall of Fame players, and they're hard to come by.
And they're having a tough time tonight. Remember last night, Utah won an overtime game in Miami, so this is back-to-back. Stockton with 4, Malone with 8, 2 rebounds for Stockton, only 3 for Karl Malone. But let's see what they do here in the second half. We do know one thing about that duo. They are warriors. Here's Malone passing to Hornacek, who draws the foul right off the top.
And there's a perfect example. They come out and execute. They run what we call a motion play, both guards coming off big guys. But they were looking inside. They got it to Malone. A cut by Hornacek, but he made sure he gets to the free throw line.
Hornacek to the free throw line once again in the top 10 in free throw shooting. That first personal on Gerald Wilkins. Hornacek shooting 87%.
You know, one of the things as a coach you like to see, and I kind of preach it all the time, let's just get a good shot every time down the floor. If you basically do that, you're going to have an extremely good chance of winning. When you come down, take the quick shot out of context, turn the ball over, those kind of things will get you in trouble.
Hornacek, who is a walk-on at Iowa State. One of your better walks in his life, I'm sure. 11:36 to go, third quarter, just underway. 41-37 Orlando. Wilkins gets a semi-screen from Cycling and knocks it down. Harold Wilkins has 10 in the game.
They did a good job of playing defense, but then when you get Wilkins on a one-on-one, you've got to play his right hand. He loves to go right and not give him that kind of shot.
Hornacek misses a little running hook in the lane, and Gerald Wilkins comes right back. Gerald, of course, missed 1 full year with an injury. Only played 28 games last year with Vancouver, but's in really good physical condition this year and playing a lot of minutes here for Orlando. Good thing for them, too, with Hardaway and Anderson out. Nice move by Horace Grant.
He earned that one, worked very hard, started right, came back left, and came up and under. He's capable if he will work, and he has the patience, and there was no double team because they left Malone to play him straight up.
Stockton down on the baseline. Who would end up with it? Karl Malone. I think the pass may have been intended for Ostertag.
They have played so many games together. Stockton can find him with his eyes closed anywhere on the court.
Dennis Scott in the paint. I've always said throughout his pro career and even at college, Dennis Scott should go to the hoop more because I think he's really a pretty good player when he penetrates.
He really has improved that phase of his game and needs to continue to do so because they no longer, although Cycli is performing very well in the post, they don't have the dominant postman like they had with Shaq, where he's going to get 40 touches inside and, you know, inability to play him one-on-one. So he's going to have to, you know, kind of broaden his game in every aspect.
Let's check in with Dick Versace. Dick?
I talked to Brian Hill as he came out of the locker room, and he pointed out to me that he's very concerned with the fact that they've forced 9 turnovers but only got 8 points out of it. He said they're only 5 of 17 from the break. They spent a lot of time talking about that. He also is concerned that they're only 1 of 9 from the 3-point line, but he does like his team's energy levels. Back to Chuck and Bob.
All right, 46-39 the score. Orlando leading. That foul, by the way, last time down was on Brian Russell. 10-12 to go in the third period. The fall away from the mailman.
Well, if he gets that shot going, that's his patented shot where he could turn away and shoot that highlight jumper, that rainbow jumper. He's so effective. He has great touch for a big guy.
Magic by 5. Here's a high screen and roll with Gerald Wilkins and Horace Grant. Brian Shaw, who was out most of the second quarter in that first half. Brian playing with a touch of the flu. Bryant only got 16 minutes in the first half of play.
And there's an example of Cycli's mobility. Very, very active. Gets to the loose ball. Tries to put it back up, but draws the foul.
It's 2 on Hornacek. Cycli had a tremendous first half. 16 points, 7 rebounds. 3 out of 4 from the line tonight. Here's Jerry Sloan, McLeansboro, Illinois. Little town about 1,700 in southern Illinois. Was, of course, a legend in high school basketball. And then went to Evansville College. Evansville, one of the great small college basketball teams, particularly during his era in the 60s. Malone in position, but there comes a double team on him. The open man is Brian Russell, who's not a bad three-point shooter, but not that kind. Cycli out quickly on the break, got hammered, but no whistle, and away comes Utah. Look at the no look, and then Russell hits. Malone hits Russell, and Russell gets the three. That was nicely done. Stockton, Malone, Russell.
A much-needed three, and on the other end, when Malone gets the ball, they're coming big. Cycli is coming on the double team, and he's having to kick it out, and the other people are going to have to make outside shots. They want to get back in this game.
Brian Shaw drew Ostertag to him on the baseline move, and then made the nice dish.
Cycli again being very, very active in the lane.
He's got 20. 6-point Magic lead, 8:42 to go, third period. Stockton looking for some energy. Back-to-backs, John.
They'll keep eating away.
Stockton has only 6 points in this game. Good ball movement again. Wilkins going to try the three. Utah's ball off Orlando. 8:20 to go in the third period. We asked the PR people here in Orlando today about their attendance with Shaquille signing with the Lakers and Hardaway out and Anderson still out. And Dennis Scott missed a lot of games already. And apparently the season ticket sales is all sellouts, but they've had a couple that weren't sellouts here this year for the first time in a while.
Well, that'll happen when you lose a guy of Shaquille's magnitude, and then when you lose Penny for a good portion of the season, Nick Anderson, they have really been on hard time. But when it rains, it falls, is that old cliche.
Brian Shaw picked up his second personal. Jess Kersey with the call. Magic by 4. There's the high screen and roll. Down to Ostertag, nicely delivered.
And all of a sudden, they are not playing the pick and roll quite as well. Stockton into the lane twice, scores once, and then he makes a big pass on the baseline, and we've got a 2-point game.
7:42 to go, third period. Brian Shaw trying to work on Stockton. Try their own pick and roll. Well defended. Grant on Stockton now. That leaves Brian Shaw open. For 3, big bucket. Back to a 5-point bulge.
When you get that double team and they swing it outside.
Karl Malone, ball fake and the drive. Oh, good grief. It's the Christmas season.
Well, the Jazz are starting to get in. When Stockton starts to run the offense like he knows how, that time was an outside pick and roll that was with the Ostertag, but he threw back to Malone, and Malone made a statement with that shot.
Stockton already 9 assists in the game. 3-point lead for Orlando. Posting up Shaw on Stockton. They're going to get him for an offensive foul.
They talked about it this morning. Brian Hill is pretty much going that route, going to post-ups with the guards.
3-point Orlando lead.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by McDonald's, official restaurant of the NBA and home of the deluxe sandwiches, and by Chevrolet Trucks.
Pick up a McDonald's Crispy Chicken Deluxe with an all-white meat breast filet and fresh toppings. The great grown-up taste, the perfect holiday treat.
Only by going alone in silence can one get into the heart of the wilderness. all other travel is mere dust and hotels and baggage and chatter.
MasterCard unite the world? Well, the world can't seem to agree on a single language or even a single philosophy, but we can all seem to agree on a single currency. Gold MasterCard, accepted at over 280,000 cash machines worldwide.
Believing I could make a difference wasn't the problem. I just didn't know how. I knew I couldn't do everything, but I could do one thing at a time. And I realized I wasn't the only one out there. I've learned so much from so many different people. It's been great getting involved. Team up with your community.
Orlando leading it by 3. John Stockton, 9 assists tonight. 11,541 in his career. That's the all-time NBA leader.
There's one on the wing. There's a bounce pass to Ostertag. Watch this one. Finds Malone for the jumper. Throws back to Malone, and he slams it down. Even on a night when the energies aren't quite there, still doing his job.
Yeah, Stockton has given the ball to Malone 14 times. On that, Malone has had 5 baskets on 5 assists. The other times, of course, Malone's either missed or passed it away, but that's just an indication of 14 times in this ball game, Stockton has somehow gotten the ball into the hands of Malone. And what needs to be added always there, as you can see, is he doesn't always just go to the hoop with it. He can make something else happen, too. Looking for Ostertag is Hornacek, but Stockton's the man who finds it. By Horace Grant. Beautiful defensive play.
And Jerry Sloan going into his trick bag offensively, going to that outside pick and roll. When you're struggling, you start looking for new things and new ways to score.
That's going to be an offensive foul on Cycli, waving off the defender with his left arm. That's good. One official had it one way and one the other, but
let's take a look. Oh, yes, that's the call.
Got his arm up too high.
Yeah, that's the call.
It's still a foul down low, but they don't call it as much. All right, Hornacek to Malone. Stockton reverses it to Brian Russell. That's 3. Brian Russell playing the small forward spot. David Benoit left this team free agency. This is the first tie of the game. The Jazz has never led in the game.
And very methodically, as they play, they have crept back into this game. And there's the game plan for the Orlando Magic. Post up the guards, take them to the hole, and they've been pretty consistent with it all night long.
Yeah, Dennis Scott at 6'8", Brian Shaw at 6'6", Gerald Wilkins at 6'7", big guards. Stockton to Hornacek. This is what they do best.
Pick and roll coming off, not really looking for anything happen on the strong side of the floor. They know where the three-point shooters are, and of course we've talked about Hornacek and the fact that he's struggling with a 3. Hits a big one right there.
Utah's first lead of the ball game. That's going to be on Ostertag. Stockton, by the way, has 11 assists in this game already. Second in the NBA with 10 and change. Chevy scoreboard. Cleveland leading Toronto. I really like that Cleveland team. Mike's got them playing well, but they're also talented. Detroit leading again, and how about Detroit clobbering New York the other night? New York getting payback tonight over Philadelphia, 80-63, and Denver in the first quarter leading Vancouver. Tune in to CNN at 11 tonight for all the scores highlight and an in-depth look at the sports issues of the day on the simulcast of CNN SI, the 24-hour sports news network from CNN and Sports Illustrated.
Well, over the year, this is one of the more competitive games, at least thus far, with roughly 17 minutes to go.
Yeah, good game. 57-56, and Chuck and I are on our first team to 90 wins track here tonight as Isley comes in at the point for Utah, in place of Stockton, getting a little rest here. And the foul on Shaw for hand check. That's his 4th foul.
See, that's a reverse of what has to happen. If they're going to post you up on the other end, you've got to drive them on this end because you're smaller and you're quicker and you can pick up the foul and get to the free throw line.
Particularly Isley, a very quick guard. Darrell Armstrong's going to come in and see if he can play Isley. 4 fouls on Brian Shaw. This is quick against quick here.
Now the clock is broken down, and you're going to have an outstanding play in order to get scored. He got a good pass.
It looked like Ostertag at 7-2 was going to hammer that. Instead, he laid it in off the glass, and the Jazz with a 1-point lead, 4:30 to go in the third quarter. And here's Darrell Armstrong. Into cycling. One-on-one. Horace Grant tipped it too hard over the hoop, and Isley comes away with it for Utah. Now, Malone over cycling. That's a tough shot. Horace Grant with the offensive board. Or Jeff Hornacek. Horace Grant trying to grab it.
Hornacek worked really hard, came in there, got his right hand in a perfect position, and tipped it in.
Horace Grant was right up there above the rim, and little, comparatively, Hornacek tipping it in. Here's Scott's drive, and Dennis Scott starting to heat up inside.
Beautiful play by Scott. One of the plays you don't suspect that he's going to be able to complete on the move like that, but we've talked about it. He's really improved that aspect of his game.
Seesaw game now. Jazz by 1. Isley looking for Karl Malone. Pass in heavy traffic. It'll be Jazz ball. And here's Dennis Scott working inside a lot more. And we've talked about it all night, getting the big guards inside.
There he is working inside. Goes up and under, changes direction, and still gets it up and in.
I call Dennis a guard because to me he will forever be a guard, even though he plays the free spot. Orlando down a point.
Point guard numbers 3-on-2. He decides to take the shot. Let's see what happens on the other end. We talked about it before. Turnover. How often does it happen? When you have a perfect 3-on-1 with nobody being able to get in, you got to make that play.
13 Utah turnovers. They only average 15 a game, and already 13 turnovers tonight for the Jazz. That's usually a sign of a tired basketball team. Jazz on the second of a 5-game Eastern swing. Actually, the third. They opened at New York, and then played last night in Miami. Dennis Scott working inside again, not this time. Here's Hornacek. No look pass Malone to Ostertag. Oh, Karl Malone.
Man, for a guy that size to be able to move and still get a shot up, a running one-hander. Here, it might hurt his back there a little bit. He's kind of leaning over.
Yeah. He was holding his side like he had a stitch in the side late in the first half, but he still got 16, 8 in this quarter, so he must not be that hurt.
I'll tell you, transition defense becoming a problem for Orlando. Both Cycli and Dennis Scott were not involved that time.
Cycli comes back and beats the buzzer, though. 24 for Cycli tonight. Crowd likes this game, and it's a seesaw battle. Well, they should. Also, the scoring heating up here a little. Minute 44 to go in the third. Offensive foul. Howard Isley got that shoulder into Darrell Armstrong, and that's 14 Utah turnovers.
Call your cable operator today and ask about CNN-SI, the Sports News Network.
It takes 43 face muscles to make a frown. But if you drive a Lumina LS, you won't have to worry about using any of them. Because Lumina LS can go 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. No 6-passenger car in its class can offer you as many standard safety features for the price. And best of all, you can afford it. The cars more Americans trust.
A lonely road, a traveler, a friend.
A trust to share beyond the journey's end. AAA insurance for all you love and own. Bring the security of AAA home.
For auto, home, life, and health.
Bring the security of AAA home.
Everyone wants a quiet place to get away. Here's one within driving distance. The new Camry. Thanks to a new level of sound-absorbing technology, including a special alloy in the steering wheel to reduce vibration, so the only thing you feel is good. The new Camry. Quieter, smoother, more affordable than ever.
There's Mickey Claus and Minnie Claus. And they gotta have Goofy. Yeah, all right. The trifecta, Disney World. Happy holidays to you. Coming up on Turner Sport, the Orlando Magic at Miami on the 26th, day after Christmas on TBS. Magic at the Bulls on January 3rd. Chuck, get out the Long Johns. You and I will be up there for that game. The Heat at the Sonics on January 7th, all on TNT, those second two games, as we continue our coverage. And there is Nick Anderson. When we saw him, you pointed this out earlier, he's got a ligament in his wrist, and he's out a lot longer than the Magic thought he would be. And you pointed out you thought that could be nagging.
Well, those kinds of injuries, particularly around the wrist or the hands, when you get a nerve problem, sometimes they take considerably more time. And it all depends, you know, a lot on the individual and the tolerance for pain.
Dennis Scott's first three-pointer of the night. So now you see the scar up on the right side of his head, the stitches actually, from that collision last Saturday with Brian Russell. That I told him when he hit his three, I'd promote his 3D restaurant here in Orlando. So now I've done it. Malone. Loose ball foul on Ostertag for Utah, and that's 2 on Greg Ostertag, and Greg Foster comes in for the young Kansan. There's Foster. Foster played at UCLA the same time Darren Day did. It seemed like he was on the group with that group.
Close. I'm not sure.
Close. That works. Close. Yeah. Derek Strong misses from long range. Malone bounces the ball out of bounds off of Horace Grant. And has a comment for the expensive seats on the baseline. But you can say, yeah, do I know Karl Malone? Yeah, I had a chat with him at the game.
Yeah, Karl looks like he's got a little slight limp on that play that we saw earlier.
Yeah, he does. Like he's got a muscle spasm or something of that nature. You know, he's such a warrior, though. It doesn't affect his performance. He's got 8 points, at least 8 in this quarter. Yeah, that's 8 and 16 in the game. But you're right, he's not moving as smoothly as we normally see him.
Yeah, when you play that 3 in 4 nights, it gets tougher and tougher as you get older.
Brian Russell steps inside the defense of Scott and knocks down the 2, and it's tied at 64. 23 seconds to go in the period. Brian Russell has 10, 8 in this quarter. Eight on the shot clock.
Back to the post-up.
Dennis Scott, tough shot there. Horace Grant with the offensive board and the putback. That's an 85-footer from Hornacek. And the Magic come back and take the lead again at the end of the period, 66-64. But no thanks to the efforts of Karl Malone. He had 8 in the period.
Could be the greatest sports mocap that's ever driven 100,000 polygons per over a 25mm aperture grill pitch. I have no idea what that means. NBA Live 97 for your PC. EA Sports. It's in the game.
It's the only one out there. And here it comes. The only compact pickup to offer a third door. Okay, folks, show's over. Chevy S10, like a rock.
It's just like MJ said to me last week. Penny Hardaway has unlimited potential. Unlimited.
Yeah, right. MJ said that?
Yes, but you're missing the whole point. It's your team this season, Penny. Your team. It's time for you to take your game to a whole nother level.
When did you talk to Jordan?
At my celebrity golf tournament, the Little Penny Classic. He kills me off the tee, but I get him on the green.
When developing the Seiko Kinetic watch, we applied for 50 patents. How could we fit them all inside? We took out the battery. Seiko Kinetic, the amazing quartz watch that never needs a battery.
From up here, it looks like they're attempting an AWE 32 through parallel bus architecture onto a 2.5D with map textures. Honestly, I'm a little lost here. Madden NFL 97 for your PC. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Are you all enjoying yourselves tonight here? Magic, how wonderful! Are you all ready for a wonderful Christmas season?
There's the March of the Wooden Soldiers, I guess. Would you say that? That's all footage from over at Disney World. What a great place for Christmas. Wish my kids had taken me there. Dick Versace, there's stars everywhere in here tonight.
Yeah, and we're having a lot of fun. Tiger and I are watching the basketball game together. I read the Sports Illustrated article, and it was very, very compelling.
Thank you. It's an article that's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very interesting, but it puts a lot of pressure on you.
A little bit, but then again, all I care about is what's inside, and you know that's all I should be concerned about.
You will do about 25 events during a regular season. How would you like to do 100 NBA games?
No chance. That's too much work for me.
Thanks, Tiger.
All right, no problem.
Tiger Woods, oh my, what a boost he's given to professional golf. He's going to play in a Pro-Am pretty soon with his dad. And Chuck Daly, you know, as big a star as you are, you're around here hunting autographs.
Well, there are two other people, Paige Stewart's here, who I played with, who had 65, like you did when I played with you.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's Corey Pavin is here. So this is kind of a golfer's paradise. A lot of pros live in this particular area.
Every one of them invited you to come play golf with them. Not one of them said a word to me, nor did you ask. Loose ball is run down by Horace Grant. As you can tell, I'm miffed with a capital M. Miffed.
They know you love the caddy.
68-64. Ow. 11 minutes of basketball left. And, Chuck, we have what could be the makings of a close finish here. Cycling fouled as he spins by Greg Foster. That's his third.
Greg Foster.
Cycling been a little bit quiet here in the second half, but in the first half, Cycling had 16 and not so quiet, 24 now in the game.
Big numbers, and he's done a great job. He's been very agile. They have not doubled him all evening. They have allowed him pretty much to have free reign in the lane, and it's cost them in terms of they're not leading as quick a point, but they're still in the game, but down 5 now.
Yeah, the free throws. We were talking about the fact that there would need to be a margin of an error, so to speak, for the Orlando Magic from the free throw line. And so far, Utah has 12 free throw attempts, and they've hit 9. And Orlando 10, and they've hit 8. So the free throw situation pretty even.
Here's the confidence of Jerry Sloan. They're down 5, perhaps going to being down 6. Takes Malone out of the game, comes with 2 substitutes from the bench. Adam Keefe and Antoine Carr, and says, you know, there's a lot of time in this game. They're very confident until the very end of the game. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, the only starter on the floor right now is Stockton. Shandon Anderson's in there. Adam Keefe, Greg Foster. Here's Antoine Carr being defended by Horace Grant. Got an illegal defense call.
Ronnie Cycli did not follow Foster outside and then tried to go back and get it. Jerry Sloan was complaining. Jess Kersey said, I've got it.
Derek Strong trying to explain that he was legal.
I'm not even sure the call was on him.
He was given a hard sell to Jess Kersey. No buyer, though. 10:42 to go in the game. Magic by 6.
See, that's where the problem lies. There was just swinging the ball. Foster makes a great move, but they end up standing out there having to make a tough shot.
Oh, Scott wanted to take the 3 on the break. Darrell Armstrong going inside. They want to go inside out in this offense for the Orlando Magic. Cycling kept it alive when Foster couldn't see it, but he kept it alive into the hands of John Stockton, who pulled up for 3. Stockton, 50% three-point shooter. He doesn't take that many, but they seem to come at such crucial points. Am I wrong?
No, you're exactly right. When he knows his club is in trouble, he'll either pull up on that break. He took his time all the way to take the 3, or he'll try to get fouled on the play, stop the clock, and get to the line for 2 shots.
50% three-point shooter. 54% field goal shooter. That just beat the buzzer. 72-67, 16 for Scott, and he has 10 in the second half.
He'll try to draw a foul here. Gets the shot for Foster.
Stockton to Foster. Stockton's assists 12, 13. 12 assists in the league.
Right now, Utah in a little bit of a danger area. There's still a long way to go, but a little bit of a danger area when that's a 3-point spread, and they keep going to try to go inside here.
There's the pick and roll with Armstrong and Grant, ends up in the hands of Dennis Scott. Tosses up the 3. Cycling follows and gets the bounce.
He has not been boxed out all night long. Shot goes up. He just waltzes in the lane. He's tipped in a number, grabbed 2 or 3, got fouled, and has had a big, big night for the Magic.
Despite the 30-point-plus win of Utah over Orlando down there, Jerry Sloan was angry at his centers for allowing that same kind of play by Cycling in that game out of Utah. Here's Stockton. As the time ran down.
You know how tough that shot he was. He was standing still, had nowhere to go. Defensively, his man was right up on him. Kind of did a little shuffle with his feet. Unbelievable ability to get it in the air.
Derek Strong working on Adam Keefe, and that'll be a 3-point opportunity for Derek Strong. Strong's going to hear in this period, since he came off the bench, with an attitude that Brian Hill would like. It's a getting business taken care of attitude.
Watch the weak side of the Strong comes across. The weak side of the defense just isn't getting there. Look at him standing, looking. That's not a well-coached Jerry Sloan team like he would like defensively, particularly on the weak side.
So Antoine Carr, Brian Russell, Karl Malone, Shandon Anderson, and John Stockton on the floor for Utah now, as Utah is down 6 with 8:23 to go. There's the rookie Shandon Anderson. Wears the same numbers his brother Willie did out of Georgia. Stockton. Malone with the rebound, but they're going to get him with a push.
A patented play they love to run. Stockton comes up on the back pick, then steps out for the shot. Karl was in position, but decided to push off and got caught.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Horace Grant's goggles get bigger game by game.
Very observant.
They look like underwater glasses. Darrell Armstrong for Derek Strong, playing against Brian Russell. Too many dribbles probably stripped away by Utah. Shandon Anderson, look at his explosiveness. The foul before the shot.
Good play, and what you love to have happen as a coach is when you're running that break and you end up getting something out of it. You don't want to run 90 feet and not get anything out of it. That time to get Anderson on the wing. He takes it strong. Instead of trying a tough shot, he wants to get to the line, which he did.
See Shandon's numbers. I mean, those are nice. 14 and a half, 5 rebounds. Very versatile player. That foul, by the way, was on Horace Grant, his 3rd personal. Interesting story on Shandon Anderson. Played his college ball, of course, at the University of Georgia. And Shandon is the only player in Georgia history to have 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, and 300 assists. And it looks like Strong got poked alone with the foul.
Let's take a look. There is the rebound. Looks like when he took the ball down, Karl was standing there, somehow got him in the face or obviously the eye. No serious consequences.
I think it was a combination by Karl. I think he got him twice with the left hand and once with the right.
Galata and Ball, right? A little below the belt.
77-72 Orlando. 7:31 to go in the game. Grant with the pick. Hand check called on Shandon Anderson.
Shandon Anderson.
Leon Wood, North Carolina. Did North Carolina Leon Wood play? He was a #1 draft choice by the Cal State Fullerton. Why did I think North Carolina? Leon Wood, anyway, was #1 draft choice by the Atlanta Hawks. Now official. Made that call.
One of the early great three-point shooters, had tremendous range. Worked his way up the ladder. Become a if he's in this league, he's one of the best officials in the world.
I was just thinking, I said Hawks, I think Sixers, he was #1 in the top 10 picks.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I think the guy over there in the corner, Pat Williams, drafted him. Correct.
Pat, executive with the Orlando Magic now, former general manager at Philadelphia and Atlanta.
And just putting out another new book. He's written any number of them. This one's about teamwork. I happen to be reading. Quite interesting.
Illegal defense call against Orlando. That's the second, so this will be a free throw. 7:18 to go in the game. Magic leading it by 6. Team fouls have come into play and will in this game. As you can see now, the Utah Jazz are over the limit, and Orlando's committed only 1 team foul.
That very definitely should be a factor in this game before it's over with 7:18 to go. Here's that vertical back pick.
Stockton on the penetration. Nobody there.
Nobody helped on the screen, and he had his way down the lane. Nobody stepped up, and you got to be very unhappy if you're the defensive coach, whomever that happens to be, for the Orlando Magic.
Stockton has 14 in the game, 8 in the period. Brian Russell. Isolated, and here comes the double team. Illegal defense. They'll shoot it again. Orlando with the timeout, and Brian Hill up to half court here to ask, what are we doing wrong? Well, you're leading by 3, Brian, with 6:40 to go in the game.
Testing impact jackets in Unit 2.
Emmett Smith. Testing progress.
Prepare to test the jersey.
Emmett Smith report to staging area B.
Starter Sportswear. No one's closer to the game.
Hey, how are those jackets coming? The hat works great.
Prepare to test the hat.
Men's haberdashery. Haute couture. The Lexus December to Remember sales event.
Right now, Lexus is featuring exceptional values on its full line of cars.
Going down.
Uh-oh. Hurry to your Lexus dealer, where impressive values are in the bag.
And Delilah, Sunday at 4 on TNT.
This is one of those earlier plays we talked about. Here's Dennis Scott coming off the screen. It's a little further out they would like. He works behind it, comes back. Cycli sets the screen. Hold it right there. These 2 defensive players come up to play Scott. Watch what happened. Cycli has a free lane to the basket inside. Shot is missed. Up, tips it in. He's had a lot of those tonight. That's why he's got his numbers.
24 points in the game for Ronnie Cycli. Here's our McDonald's game reset. 28 points, 9 boards. And you see the rest of it. And we have 6:40 to go in this ball game with Orlando up by 3.
And shooting a technical foul based on the zone call. Utah Jazz have had 3 successive games like this. Last night in overtime, They're in a very tight one here tonight, and they were in a very tight game in New York.
Gerald Wilkins, Horace Grant, Brian Shaw, Derek Strong, and Ronnie Cycli on the floor for the Orlando Magic. Stockton to Antoine Carr. Sees it opening down the middle. Cycli almost got a piece of it, but not before Twan, as he is lovingly called by his pals, laid it in, and we're tied at 78.
This Utah club, a very, very deep club. People come in and do the things like Antoine Carr just did.
John Stockton looked at Leon and said, yeah, good call. Well, yeah, sure. 6-0 Utah run stopped by that personal foul. Wilkins will step to the free throw line. Shoots 69%, has 11 in the game, 11 points.
And you named the problem earlier, the free throw line and the penalty. And it could serve very well for the Orlando Magic before this next 6:13 is over.
That's something we said at the beginning, and you said at the beginning of the ball game, that one way Orlando could find it to get points in this game would be if they got to the free throw line. And they do have a 1-point 79-78 lead. And I think our first 1-90 test may be accurate again tonight.
This is an interesting test. This one is a real test.
Stockton gives it off to Carr. Thought about a 3. 7 on the shot clock. Malone, 5 on the shot clock. Stockton runs down the errant ball. New shot clock for Utah, down a point.
Classic pick and roll. Let's see what happens. Screen. Horace Grant steps out. Not long enough.
Brian Russell. Wide open. And that was set up by the pick and roll.
Measured all the way.
Jazz by 2 with 5:31 to go. 14 assists tonight for John Stockton. Wilkins trying to work inside. It's a tough move. Didn't finish. Rebound Malone. Antoine Carr slow getting up. Stockton will wait for him.
Problem with that clock's going to run down, but they're very confident. You'll see him go right back to the pick and roll on the wing. Stockton Malone. Stockton Malone. Grant showed, but not enough. There he showed a little bit more.
They'll just try it again. The other way. Stockton ends up open. Had to shoot that. The shot clock was ticking down. They got into their offense late, as you pointed out, Chuck, when Carr was slow getting started there and didn't get the shot away, and now Utah with a chance to tie.
That was an interesting ball that went up to Stockton, and Brian Shaw both had their hands on it when it went out of bounds, but Jess Kersey said, I like the call going the other way.
Brian Shaw playing with a flu tonight. Back in the ball game. The starters on the floor now for Orlando. Then a spot off a curl. Rebound Shandon Anderson.
Both teams strictly going to pick and roll, coming back to the weak side. That time Cycli set a big screen for Scott. Dagger. Won't shoot him all night. Come down, has made 2 in this quarter. You must never go to sleep on him.
Just that fast, Utah has built a 5-point lead. Utah was down 79-78. 4:21 to go in the game. Timeout. Magic.
Hey, whatever sport you're into this holiday season, you gotta get into Foot Locker. Our stripers are experts at helping you pick that perfect gift, like the exclusive Nike Air Flight 84. We're talking more Nike, Reebok, and Fila than you can fit under a tree. Then check out a sleigh full of Nike sweatshirts. And if football is on your list, grab a Pro Player NFL reversible jacket. Plus, our gift certificates will help deck out that special someone from head to toe. 'Tis the season to get off on the right foot at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
He wants a new Mazda. She wants a used Mazda. So how did they find happiness? They went to Cable Dahmer Mazda in Independence, because Cable Dahmer Mazda emphasizes both new and used. A big selection of new Mazda trucks, minivans, and the Miata, and a big selection of high-quality late-model used cars, foreign and domestic, with nice people to help you. So if you're looking for new, but you'd rather buy used, or vice versa, see both new and used at Cable Dahmer Mazda on the Miracle Mile, Noland Road, Independence.
You can't imagine your life without them. How about theirs without you?
Who's your insurance agent?
Call Allstate agent Kurt Rafferty in Lee Summit at 525-4255 or Allstate agent Don Fowler in Blue Springs at 224-3038.
Being in good hands is the only place to be.
EJ, back at you from Atlanta. The Detroit Pistons pulled away midway through the final period to put away the Indiana Pacers tonight. Otis Thorpe had himself a big ball game, 16 points, 15 boards, and a big dunk over Eddie Johnson. The Detroit Pistons, boys and girls, are 20-4 on the year. First time they've had 20 wins before Christmas. Didn't even happen in the Chuck Daly era. Back to Orlando.
Didn't get 20 before Christmas, Chuck.
Well, some Christmases weren't as good as others.
Congratulations to Doug Collins. What a job.
Yeah, it's break up the Pistons right now as well as they're playing.
Yeah, that'll get some more folks back in there. They were losing some fans there. Now that'll load up the seats again. 12-1 run by the Jazz the last 3:25. They were down 6, and now they're up 5. 4:14 to go in the game. Not a good pass by Horace Grant.
They wanted to go to cycling where they went early in the game and went away from them, went to guard situations in terms of posting up, and now you're going to see the execution. And Stockton out of the game. Oh, I'm sorry, Stockton's in the game. Is that Hornacek running that pick and roll, which would have been a shocker at this point in the game. What a drive.
But Brian Russell, loose balls picked up by Cycling. He nearly threw it away and did. That's 2 consecutive Orlando turnovers in crunch time. And they pay for it. Stockton, 15 assists now. Nick Anderson can't bear to look.
You know, Anderson was running back to get on defense and had his back to the ball, threw his arm up and got the deflection.
Dennis Scott. It's Brian Russell. Scott actually has size on Russell by about an inch. And the foul. By the way, the NBA returns to our colleagues at NBC on Wednesday with a Christmas Day doubleheader. The Lakers in Phoenix. Danny Ainge got Phoenix playing pretty well lately. And we just talked about Detroit and Chicago. A couple of excellent games on NBC on Christmas Day. Coverage beginning at 6 o'clock. Eggnog, Christmas wrappings, big
turkey,
turkey, basketball. Yeah. And then upcoming on Turner Sports, not to shortchange ourselves for crying out loud. Day after Christmas on TBS, Orlando at Miami. Then Friday the 3rd on TNT, Orlando at Chicago. Tuesday the 7th, Miami at Seattle. Big steal by Wilkins. And a big three from Dennis Scott. It's a 2-point game.
Jazz were in great shape, and here they get stolen again.
Horace Grant!
And trips him from behind. Wow.
Grant all right. Still on the floor underneath the stanchion. He went down in an awkward way there when it looked as though Malone may have stepped on his ankle as he went down. We'll get a look at it in a second. Let's see if Horace Grant is okay. This injury-depleted team can ill afford another star to get hurt. See if he steps on the ankle there. No, it's a trip, but not a step. I don't think he stepped on it. And Grant may be okay.
Horse is up, moving around, and probably get a shot. You know what happened? Scott hits the 2 free throws. Then the Magic go to a trap, a 1-2-2 trap, and threw it away. And then Scott hits a big 3. They're back in the game.
Horace Grant with a chance to tie. This is the first one. Grant's only a 66% free throw shooter. There's the steal by Wilkins.
Scott makes a really tough 3.
Nash gets 1 out of the 2, and we have ourselves a 1-point Jazz lead.
Here's that press again. Let's see how they handle it. Normally they'll handle it very well. They're running away from the ball handler and throwing it long overhead. They get an easy one here. And the foul.
Antoine Carr. Well, once they broke it, the floor was open. That stopped a 6-0 Orlando run.
See what's happening. They're getting the ball too deep in here. They've got to get the ball further out in the court. That's a very dangerous pass, and on the previous trap was thrown away.
Cycli picked up his third on the Antoine Carr basket. Carr converts the three-pointer, and it's a 4-point Jazz lead with 2:49 to go. Magic's lost 3 in a row here at home. Lost 7 of their last 8 games.
Going to go where they lived the first half. They're getting a little more help here.
Back into Cycli with 6 on the shot clock.
He's coming.
And the foul is going to be on Antoine Carr. It'll be his second. Cycli will step to the free throw line.
When Cycli gets the ball on the post, it's going to be very, very difficult to stop him from getting a shot. He really wants the shot. He's going to go for it, and he's going to take as much time as necessary, and he doesn't mind going to the free throw line.
Cycli 8 out of 9 from the line tonight. Hits this one, he'll have 30 points.
72% shooter. Let's see if they go back to the press. Looks as though, like Brian Hill saying, back off, don't press this time. They're back in the game. Let's see what happens.
Cycli gets them both, and it's a 2-point Jazz lead. Back off the press. Offered about 3/4, and it's soft, and now dropping into the cover.
They'll let the Utah Jazz run their offense, and here's one of their patented plays.
Good defense that time. Malone over Horace Grant. Big bucket by Karl Malone. It's been Stockton, Malone as advertised. And it's a 4-point Utah lead. Karl has 20 tonight.
A pick and roll here with Scott. Try to get Scott on a switch.
We've got an offensive foul on the moving pick.
Ronnie Cycli on the weak side of the floor, moving.
And no question about it, Orlando missing Brian Shaw here in crunch time. Darrell Armstrong, their backup point guard, playing. Brian Shaw came into this game with a flu tonight. Obviously doesn't have it to go here late in the game.
Watch his pick and roll here on the left side. Malone, keep working. Stockton will get in the lane, takes a very tough shot. So tough, I can't believe it. You talk about a circus shot.
93-87 Utah. Utah was down 11 last night at Miami, came back and won in overtime. They may be pulling the same kind of thing here. They were down 6. That's an illegal defense against the Jazz. Stockton has 20 points, has scored 14 in this period with 1:30 to go in the game.
Well, we talked about earlier in the game. They did not look like a club that was really emotionally into the game, but they're such pros and they're so efficient at what they do. They just keep chipping away. They never worry about a lead or the fact that the other club has a big lead.
Darrell Armstrong with a beautiful spin move and a lay-in, and it's now a 4-point Jazz lead and back to the pressure.
Here's that press. It's giving Utah problems because the people trying to get the inbound pass are going too deep down to the baseline.
Well, that's what Jerry Sloan will probably say to his players as he calls timeout, with Utah leading it by 4 and 1:23 to go. And once again, Orlando still not in the foul situation, but we're inside the 2 minutes, so they do have 1 to give. 22nd timeout. Utah has 3 fulls, Orlando 2 fulls and a 22nd.
You know, it's interesting with Utah, with all of the timeouts that they have, they're still going to take it on the, if they take the full timeout, they can go to half court and a better and more space to clear. But you'll see it here. The guards are running up to the baseline, which makes it very easy for the Magic to trap and is giving them a hard time. Let's see if they change up here.
Well, he's pretty deep.
That time they get the ball in the right man's hand, and here he picks up the foul.
From Darrell Armstrong.
Foul number 10, Darrell Armstrong.
That's the first in the last 2 minutes. So now the rest of the time, Utah will be shooting. Leading by 4, 1:17 to go. And Stockton comes down to shoot free throws. Just that quickly. No time runs off the clock, however.
I'm not sure that, though, with a 4-point lead that you wanted to foul in that particular situation, put them up 6. Now you have to score in the next possession with 1:17 to go.
Yeah,
Orlando
right in front of their bench.
Yeah, exactly. Well, evidently, perhaps they did. I couldn't tell whether Brian Hill had signaled to foul or not.
John Stockton, 2 of 2 out of the line. Here's Stockton and Malone tonight. 39 points between them. 15 assists for Stockton. He's trailing Mark Jackson of Denver in league standings in assists. Mark had 18 in the game recently, and Stockton gets both the free throws, so he's 4 for 4 now, has 22, and it's a 6-point Jazz lead with 1:14. And as we said at the beginning, Orlando, how are they going to score?
That's the one thing. They did not want to stop the clock and put them on the line quite that early. Make them use some clock or give up a 3, but they put them on the line.
Stockton with the hold, and Darrell Armstrong will go to the free throw line, where he shoots 84%.
And John Stockton shaking his head, going, hey, let's make them work, use clock to get to. Fortunately for Utah, they get the miss.
Karl Malone steps up to Darrell Armstrong, had a word for him there after the miss.
Thank you very much, he said.
It was a critical miss at this point in the game. 5-point Jazz lead. Here's the pressure. $18 on the shot clock.
We want to keep it in the hands as much as possible. Stockton, Malone, or Hornacek.
There's the pick and the bounce pass down low. Antoine Carr, who didn't get the bounce. Life left for Orlando. 42 seconds to go. Down 5. Big pick set by Horace Grant. Armstrong kicks it out. Wilkins. That was for 3. Stockton runs it down. Lead pass to Hornacek. Lob in to Brian Russell, who with poise waits and lays it in. And that is the dagger in the heart. 7-point Utah lead.
First one to 90 wins. Case closed.
97-90. Utah Jazz got to that magic number first tonight. Used to be, as Chuck pointed out earlier, 100 first to 100 would often win the games with the lower scoring, but actually going to get up near 100 here tonight.
Budweiser, always brew refresh.
Where's Dad? Men's haberdashery. Haute couture. The Lexus December to Remember sales event.
Right now, Lexus is featuring exceptional values on its full line of cars.
Going down.
Uh-oh. Hurry to your Lexus dealer, where impressive values are in the bag.
Now for sale on video, Twister.
It's Christmas time.
This holiday season, it's the one special gift that'll blow everyone away.
It's coming.
Twister, bring it home for the holidays.
Topped with ripe red tomato and fresh green lettuce, McDonald's Deluxe sandwiches fit right into the holidays. The great grown-up taste, the perfect holiday treat.
You said it best, Chuck. It's like Groundhog Day. It's like a recurring dream. Malone, Stockton, Malone. They've just been hammering away. Both of them tonight, particularly in crunch time. Stockton really stepped it up, and we were questioning earlier about his legs maybe being tired. 22 and 20, 15 assists for Stockton, 6 rebounds for Malone, and Stockton has 16 points in the fourth quarter, and they are our co-Bud players of the game. No shot there. Thought Orlando was going to get a win here tonight, though, frankly. That triple goes down. It's a 4-point Utah lead with 16 seconds left. It ain't over.
Well, they've got to foul as quickly as possible and try to stop this clock when you're down to 16. That's exactly what they did. They've been utilizing the press, and I thought it bothered Utah a little bit. I think when you pressure Utah, take them out of their tempo, you have a better chance of beating them. And all of the things that they do so well, that pick and roll play, we talked about it earlier, Portland, New York, Dublin. I'm surprised that more clubs don't go to that because it does disrupt them. You let them run their offense and cruise, they're too tough to beat.
Brian Russell. Magic stay alive. A lot of the people heading for the exits think they'll just take one more look at this next free throw. Jazz by 4.
And more than likely, they'll take another look at a timeout here, set up another three-point shot opportunity.
Orlando has, what, one full timeout left? One full. As Nick Anderson looks on, Orlando takes their timeout. Trailing by 5.
Watch Monster Vision with Joe Bob Briggs tonight after the NBA on TNT.
Men's haberdashery. Haute couture. The Lexus December to Remember sales event.
Right now, Lexus is featuring exceptional values on its full line of cars.
Going down.
Uh-oh. Hurry to your Lexus dealer, where impressive values are in the bag.
When developing the Seiko Kinetic watch, we applied for 50 patents. How could we fit them all inside? We took out the battery. Seiko Kinetic, the amazing quartz watch that never needs a battery.
Only from Domino's, new garlic crunch crust pizza, roasted garlic. Baked right into our classic hand-tossed dough, then sprinkled with Parmesan crunchies all around the edge. It's a delicate blend of herbs and garlic in every bite of our delicious steaming crust. Call now and get a large one topping just $9.99. New garlic crunch crust for a limited time only.
For hot and wild, call Domino's.
98-93, 14 and a half seconds left. You know, America loves duets. Bogey and Bacall. Fred and Wilma. Rhett and Scarlett. Malone and Stockton.
Duets.
And Martin and Lewis. Abbott and Costello. Penn and Teller. Gerald Wilkins inbounds. There's still a slight chance here if they can get something quickly. Talking about Orlando. Wilkins inbounding right in front of our table here. Darrell Armstrong wanted the screen. Stockton ran past it. Gonna have to get the shot away. Armstrong puts up the air ball, and that'll be all she wrote. And Utah is going to be 2 out of 3 on their 5-road trip. They're playing 5 games on this road. They lost the first one at the Knicks. They won last night in overtime at Miami on a come from behind. They were down in this game in the 4th quarter. Utah comes back to win again, 98-93. And they are 20 wins on this early season. And let's go to Dick Versace.
I'm right here with John Stockton. John, let's talk about the fatigue factor. You guys should have been the ones that were tired. Where did you get that energy?
Well, I think we got a little life when we started getting back in the game in the second half. Our defense gives us a lot of life. We can create some easy baskets for ourselves. So I think that was kind of the start for us.
What about the pick and roll at the end? They seem to have a lot of trouble with it down the stretch, especially in that spurt, 12-1 spurt.
Well, they didn't have any trouble with it early in the game, and we just kind of kept trying it. And I think they became a little bit more leery of Karl getting open on the wing there, opened up a few chances in the middle.
And also, John, they didn't seem to take opportunity or take advantage of their fast break opportunities because they forced you guys to turn it over some.
No question. I think especially in the first half, I couldn't be positive on that, but it seems to me like we were throwing it around in the first half, and we could have been in big hurt early had they capitalized on those turnovers.
All right, congratulations, John.
Thank you.
Okay, back to Chuck and Bob.
98-93, Utah gets the win. 40 minutes tonight. You played 53 last night, Carl. Plus, it's as the mailman, it's Christmas. You've got all those packages to deliver.
Yeah, I got to do it, but these kind of games are gut check game for you. When you play an overtime game against a great Miami team and then come back tonight and play these guys, they were sitting here waiting on us or whatever. So I can't say enough about these guys. Everybody sucked it up, and we didn't allow ourselves to think tired. And I think when the game started, I think we was like, oh, let's just go through the motion, hope to get it going. And all of a sudden, we started to do the little things. But this team right here is a pretty unique team. Since, you know, the first time I've been on a team like this where every guy want to contribute, and it's a lot of fun to play.
You know, it's amazing to me in watching your club, not just tonight, but you never get rattled in terms of staying in a game. You found 6, down 8. You always have patience. You never get excited and take bad shots. Good leadership, of course, by Stockton and yourself. Is that something that's just grown with the maturity of this club?
It's grown with the maturity of this club, but the thing about it, what we always keep in our mind now is a game against Denver. And I know a lot of people don't like to talk about that, but we built on that game right there because we was down by 34 in our building. And then when we go out on the road, we feel that no matter what we're down, we feel we're going to stay and execute like last night and be in every ball game. But that game against Denver really did a lot for our ball club, and we think it's going to do a lot in the future for us.
Okay, Carl, want to talk about last night where you got a game ball for 10,000 rebounds, and yet you're still 4 short here tonight. Well, tell us about that a little bit.
Well, you know, I don't even like to worry about this stuff. Our PR department told me, hey, Carl, you're 16 away, and then he ran in with the ball or whatever, so I was like, I'm glad it's over with because I'm tired of people talking about it. Then all of a sudden, Coach said, Carl, you need 10 more at breakfast. I said, Coach, not so fast. I'm not going to play 12 more years in this league to get 10 more thousand. He said, no, you need 10
You know what he's going to tell you next game? We need 20 to get you. Exactly. It's a little scheme that coaches have.
6 tonight. You continue your trip. We were hoping you'd do it here so we could stop. Chuck was going to give you the game ball and the whole deal, but maybe next game.
Maybe next game. Too bad you guys ain't carried us there.
All right, Carl, great game again, as usual.
I want to say, like usual, hi to everybody back in Louisiana and Karl Malone Toyota.
Oh, I love that.
Very good, very good.
You guys are marketing mavens.
Karl Malone Toyota.
Utah beats Orlando 98-93.